Hello.
Craig.
Craig,
Hello,
Mike,
Jared.
how you doing? Yeah, Craig. I was just finna say that, man. You got a long intro. Nah,
Yeah, I play the intro. I made it long on
hello,
purpose because with live streams,
Craig.
people well.
Craig,
Hello,
Mike.
Jared.
How you doing?
Who's echoing?
Yeah, Craig. I was just finna say that, man. Oh, that's the echo from Jeranism.
Yeah, I play the intro. I made it long. It's coming back from you, Jeran. I think the echo there.
Okay, we good?
Yeah, we'll get that squared away for we. That's no. I think that's just the tab open. That's all.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
got
hear
that.
it no more. Yeah, we good.
Yeah, all good, all good.
So soon as Jeranism cut in and was after the uh coin toss or whatever, it's pretty much we only speak when he tell us to. So
Roger for that, 100%.
You want me just to flip it here online?
Yeah, Jeran, I just want
yeah,
to say thank you for agreeing to do this. I do appreciate you taking the time to moderate this debate.
Yeah, no problem.
me too.
You want me just to flip a coin? Who wants to call it?
I'm going heads.
Yeah, you cool, Sanchez. That's cool.
Okay, and I put this here, and you should be able to see it here. And so you said you're going heads.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Browser. All right, here you go. And we'll flip it. Flip again. Here it comes. It's heads. So who you want to go first?
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go first.
Okay. And so you got 7 minutes. And whenever you want to go.
Okay, in just a second.
Mm-hmm. And I'll let you know when you've got about a minute left.
All right.
I'll just mute myself for now, okay?
Thanks.
Uh oh, what? Sorry about this. All right, so whenever you guys ready to go, we can go ahead. Finally, go ahead and do it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start.
All right, so here we go, guys. I'm gonna start right on off with a. Oh, hold on. We gotta. You know what? I just thought about some Jeranism. I can't screen share if you're the. You have to unlock the screen share for
Oh,
me.
let me do that then. Multiple participants can screen share. Okay, you should be good now. Try now.
Okay, so we can start the time right now.
Okay, 7 minutes start now.
All right, guys. So my argument is going to be based around the fact that the moon mission was a hoax and that it was bogus and that they never left Earth. If I could debunk the moon missions, I think I'm doing pretty good for flat Earth. And that's going to be my pretty much debate argument today. And I'm not going to stray from that. And I'm going to debunk it by showing you that our compressors can't work on the moon and show you that a heat pump can't work on the moon. And we're going to talk about the PLSS, which is the primary life support system, the backpack you see the astronaut with, and show you why that cannot work. The reason that cannot work, guys, is exhibit 1. Let's just show you this. You can't have suction in a vacuum, and this video is going to prove that. And I'm not going to play it all because we're pressing for time. This is a debate. What he's doing, he's trying to vacuum up that lint, but he's got it in a vacuum. Let's watch it. He vacuumed the lint at first when he didn't have the vacuum activated, and it worked. He was able to suck the lint up. And then over here, once he made it a vacuum chamber, no suction. Look.
Okay, so why is happening? Why is the vacuum not able to pick up the lint? It's because it's not actually the suction that makes a vacuum be able to suck things into it. It's actually the pull of air into it. So the particles get entrapped in the air that's getting...
So he's gonna give his theory on what he's going on. I'm gonna mute it just so so it's not like he's making my argument for me, right? Because I don't want nothing he's saying to interfere with nothing I'm saying. So basically, I just want you to see him try to vacuum up the dust. All right. I just need to go to that real quick. You'll see that suction doesn't work in a vacuum right here. He can't vacuum, that does. This is gonna be important.
Okay, we're at full vacuum. Let's turn off the vacuum pump and see if we can suck up that lint. Nothing. It's right in front of the suction part and it's not sucking it up.
You know what? You can't have suction inside of a vacuum, guys. Now, let's talk about the air filter that was used by Apollo 13. Let's talk about this because this is the backpack that filtered the air in the astronaut suit. They had, and that was used in the 60s. They was using old heat pump, air compression, filtration technology, no different than a fish tank, if you will. But what I'm proving, if you look at the way water behaves in space, there's no way you will be able to filter water or gas when it's going full lava lamp on you. Let's just watch. In other words, you can't have airflow, circulation, or none of that in space. The video just proved that you can't have suction force in space. In other words, a vacuum in a vacuum. All laws work in polarity. You can't have push without pull. Now watch this. This shows that what kind of heat pumps are used in space. All less compressors. I already looked into it, and I got sources here. What happens to water in space? They show you this all the time. It forms a spear. How can you think about a goldfish in a fish bowl in space? How did a fish tank filter itself in space when water is behaving like this? There is no such thing as water flow in space or air flow. There is no flow in space, which is why you don't see water forming into rivers, water form into globs. And in order to filter water in space, you will literally have to cause it to circulate. I want you guys to take a look at this and check my next points out. If you can't have suction force in space, then the astronaut's oxygen tank or primary life support system cannot function. And the reasons it can, again, because it removes carbon dioxide by filtering it through a canister. The hose sucks. You can't have suction in space. The hose, look, this thing is attached with a hose to it, guys. Look at this piece of crap. They literally use duct tape to seal it. And you're on the moon. If your mechanic used duct tape for your car, you'll get mad. But they used it in the moon missions. Oh, wow, man. Duct tape needs some props. Check this out, y'all. This thing has lithium hydroxide canister that it's filtering the oxygen through, and it has to pull it through the hose. But we just proved that there's no vacuum in a vacuum. So how does it pull? Why even have a hose in space if there's no suction? It's a lot he's gonna have to explain to us, and I'm glad that I got him in an explain mode. So check this out, guys. The hose sucks the carbon dioxide from the astronaut's helmet and filters it through the LHC. The carbon dioxide has to get from the helmet to the can. How does this happen without suction force? Globalists tend to deny that space is a vacuum at this point. Watch, I bet you what he do. If gases, liquids, and solids form into spheres, right? We see all the time astronauts with the water balls like we see there, right? How can you get filter water like this? Space vehicles carry liquid this, liquid that, but we know how liquids behave in space. How can you filter them when they're behaving that way? So, more things I want to point out. How can the siphoning process take place in space?
45 seconds.
How can you compress gases, liquids, or solids without using push or pull force, suction, or propulsion force? The opposite of suck is spit. If you can't do neither in space, how can you filter air or gas through a tube? Okay, so one thing I'll do in my last 2 minutes is play where he shows you this tank has an airflow in the middle.
It even has airflow through the middle, so this is perfect, and it has the hole down here.
You heard it, airflow. You can't have airflow or water flow in space. You can't have waterfalls, you can't have water rivers or air rivers, and that's literally where the compression tank relies on. Fans don't work in space. And this is what this thing is worked upon. You can't have proper filtration in space because the pulling, the pushing is what's needed in filtration. Absorption is a form of suction. I'm going to go into this more in my next arguments because I'm sure he's going to come with some crap.
Okay, Craig, you're up. 7 minutes when you're ready. Tell me when.
All right, give me just 1 sec to
Sure.
get this up. That's what she said, but I'm.
Do I have that sound effect ready for you? I don't.
Sorry, I'm just finding the video that I want to display. Give me just 1 second.
Sorry, it's perfect time for me to get here. Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry. A little late.
Yeah.
7.
Okay, right. Oh, my streamer's just crashed. Let me just turn that back on. 1 sec. Okay, right. I am ready when you are.
Okay, go ahead. Start. 7 minutes.
Okay, so I just want to talk about the simple evidence that it's quite easy to measure the rotation of the Earth. It's been done many times with many different mechanisms. You can do it with interferential gyroscopes. You can do it with mechanical gyroscopes. You can do it with something as simple as a swinging pendulum, which is the one that I like to talk about the most. So if I'm giving evidence for the globe, we have to make the assumption that the Earth is a globe and work on that. So if the Earth is a globe and it's rotating, then there's certain things that we expect to happen. Physical, mechanical things that a rotating sphere will make happen to things that are on that rotating sphere. And one of those is the Coriolis effect, which is a result of something being on a rotating body. And a pendulum that's swinging is a great example of this. Now, when you have a large pendulum that's set up properly, freely able to move, and you start it swinging, the amount that the pendulum will drift off of the straight line path during its swinging depends on your position on the Earth. They've done this at the South Pole, experiments at the South Pole, where you would get the 360 degrees rotation of the pendulum's drift in 24 hours, and that's what they found. And wherever you do it on the Earth, the amount of the drift will correlate to your latitude. And there's a guy called the Gentleman Physicist that I like to go to. That's this guy. He looks very tired. He's been up all night doing the experiment. And he set up his own pendulum in a high-rise building that he lives near. And he releases it and lets it swing. So this is the setup. So it's a concrete block with a bit of copper wire attached to a carabiner and some fishing wire, which is attached several feet up above him in the stairwell. And he releases it and lets it swing. And as it swings, it goes backwards and forwards with a little paintbrush at the bottom that hits this ink pad and draws a line. And it swings. It swings for as long as it can until there's no inertia left. And it takes about 45 minutes that they get it to swing. And over that time, what happens is 41 minutes. And as you can see, the path that it started swinging, which was straight, has drifted. And what you can do is you can actually measure the angle of the drift. And as we see here, they take a snapshot and they measure the angle. And what you can do with that angle and the amount of time that it's taken to get that angle is do a simple bit of maths to figure out how long it would take to do 360 degrees. And that is what the T would be. So they measure the angle, they get 7.89 degrees, and they figure out that in 24 hours, for 360 degrees, it would take a certain amount of time, which would be 31.4 hours. So for that, if that pendulum was able to go constantly for 31.4 hours, the path that it draws would draw a complete circle. It would rotate around 360 degrees. Now, what you can do with this is quite impressive. You can literally use that angle that you've got and the time that it's taken to get that angle to find your latitude on Earth. It's called Foucault's sine law, and it's simple. You take the arc sine of 24 hours divided by how long it would take to do 360 degrees. And what you find is that when you do this calculation, you can calculate your latitude on Earth. And this works wherever you are on Earth. I've done this experiment myself at university, so of hundreds and hundreds and thousands of other people. There's countless videos of this being shown. I know it's in museums and stuff all over the world. And this is an excellent example of a prediction matching what we see in reality. They make the prediction that this should happen because the Earth is rotating, and then it matches that prediction. It matches what we expect to happen. And wherever you do this, you're able to calculate your latitude on Earth. If you do it at the equator, you wouldn't get any drift. If you do it at the North or South Pole, you get 360 degrees in 24 hours. As you move away from the equator towards the poles, it changes according to Foucault's sine law. And this is empirical evidence based on a prediction from a hypothesis that shows that the Earth is rotating. Because if the Earth is rotating, this is what we expect to happen. So that's what I'd like to base my argument on, is the fact that we can make a prediction as to say, well, if the Earth is spinning at the rate we say it is, then things should happen. Does that thing happen? Yes, it does. We experimentally demonstrated that that thing happens. Therefore, the conclusion would be that the Earth is rotating. We failed to disprove that the Earth rotates. And that's what I'm going to set my main argument as, and I'll yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Okay, so now we go to, I believe you get to refute what he was talking about. Let me bring up the thing. So it's here. So yeah, you get 2-minute critique of his intro statement. So if you want to say something about his intro, you got 2 minutes, and then he's got a minute after that to come back.
Let me ask you a question, moderator.
Yes.
I don't think I looked over the criteria. I'm say the debate criteria.
Okay.
Like that. Not well, I looked over it, but what I'm saying is, are we gonna have another round to go over our initial arguments? You know what we were saying. I know we have a format, but I'm sure but that's just something I'm asking. You can go ahead though. It's on, Craig.
Yeah, so it's just if he's got something to say about your opening statement here, he can say that for 2 minutes, and then you get a 1-minute reply.
Jeran, do you maybe just want to set out for everyone what the format is, so that everyone knows what's coming up?
Sure.
And then
the plan was to do, we did an intro each of 7 minutes, and then we're going to do for round 2 just a 10-minute critique, which is going to be Craig is going to critique his intro statements, Brother Sanchez, and then Brother Sanchez got 1 minute to reply to that critique, and then he's going to critique his intro for 2 minutes, and then you can do 1 minute reply there. Then round 3 is going to be basically a question and answer back and forth between you guys, and we'll do that a few times, and then we have open dialogue after that, which is going to be back and forth. Kind of, I shouldn't have to moderate much unless somebody's over talking or over speaking, and then after that, you guys will each have 3 minutes of closing. Then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and do Q&A. How do you want to do Q&A, Brother Sanchez? Are you having people send those in?
You know what? We can actually we can open up a.
That's my sound making sound here.
My bad. I'm talking with my mic muted. We can actually have them come up or call in if you want to do it that way.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So
would it be in that section if people from my chat call in as well to put questions to Brother Sanchez?
Sure.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
you know what? If that'll be dope if we were to release the Zoom link to your side and my side and just have like a all of them come up like a royal. Yeah.
Do you have it turned on so that there's a waiting room?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Yep. So this way they don't just all show up. I got you. Good.
When it gets to the Q&A, then I'll post the link in my chat as well, and then we can do it like that if that's okay with you guys.
Sounds good to me.
That's gonna be dope.
Okay, I'm ready to give my my critique of his intro, if
yes,
that's okay. Right. So, Brother Sanchez, your main argument was that suction doesn't work in a vacuum, and you're correct. But the thing that you're missing is that all of the apparatus that was doing the suction and the filtering and everything, it's all an enclosed system that's pressurized, so it's not a vacuum. The flow is created by the fact that it's within a pressurized system. It's not just floating in free space. It's not floating. It's not exposed to a vacuum. So there's no reason to say that it's not going to work because it's not in a vacuum. It's all in a pressurized system. So your argument of, well, it shouldn't work because vacuums don't work in space, you can't suck into space. Well, you are correct, but that's not the basis of the technology that you were describing. The technology is under pressure. It's doing what it's designed to do with the the fluids that are pressurized within the units. So I wasn't really sure where you were going with that as to debunking the moon landing, because it's, I mean, even the video that you displayed, they talk about how it actually did work. So that would be my critique of your intro.
I'll respond to that.
Yeah, you have a minute to respond. Go ahead.
Yeah, so in the video that I played, it doesn't matter what the person in the video says. You're debating me. The point was there was no suction in the vacuum. And if your response is, well, the equipment was pressurized, well, let's look at the equipment, everybody. It was sealed with duct tape. Where the holes connect to the backpack at, the bond to seal it is made with duct tape. They didn't have flat seal in the 60s. You think he got a good, and you got to make this thing fully contained and enclosed. And I don't think this was fully sealed. I'm pretty sure space still, that the laws of space was still dictate the way that the air and the liquids and all of that would behave inside of this backpack, because it's not fully enclosed. It's open to space. And like I said, when you incorporate duct tape, it loses its adhesive value at 140 degrees. And Buzz Aldrin said it was over 200 degrees on the moon. That's a dagger. You can't even have duct tape work in extreme conditions. I went to the website. Duct tape don't even work well in extreme cold. It stopped losing it. Everyone have seen this before if you use duct tape, where it no longer is adhesive anymore. If you thinking that was a integral, a good bond, that was time?
Yep.
Okay.
So now you get to go ahead and critique his opening statement, his intro. You got 2 minutes. Brother Sanchez.
Okay, yeah. So just in critiquing his opening statement with Foucault's pendulum, I don't even need the 2 minutes on that. If he came here today to prove the globe based on a Foucault's pendulum, I just think that the argument I'm making is so much stronger than Foucault pendulum, because even the scientists involved with Foucault pendulum don't all agree on it. They think that it's a biased experiment. Why would anyone show up to a debate without definitive proof? You would show up with biased experiments, right? He didn't do the experiment for himself, and his claim, it doesn't take no critical thinking. Foucault pendulum is a debated instrument that's used in science. So he's showing up with faulty proof. I'm showing up with some solid. Foucault pendulum got to be activated by a human, meaning if the earth is moving, y'all, why can't I just suspend the pendulum and let the simple motion of the earth cause it to cause its motion? If I want to prove that a merry-go-round is turning, I don't gotta touch the pendulum that I'm suspending to the merry-go-round. I just suspend the pendulum on it, and the natural motion of the merry-go-round will dictate the rest. Foucault pendulum got to be reset all the time. After a few hours, that thing will stop. But why would it stop if the earth's still moving? If it's mimicking the movement of the earth and the earth didn't stop, why did Foucault pendulum stop? That ain't how you play Simon Says. Next, let's go.
Okay, you got a minute to respond to that.
Okay, there's nothing in science that says, or in physics, that the pendulum would start moving on its own. In fact, the pendulum is moving with the earth. The important thing is that once it's swinging, then there's an effect, because the Coriolis force is something that is applied to a moving object. There's a lateral force applied to something that's moving, and that gives you the drift of the pendulum. There's no reason it would start on its own. And if you've got a merry-go-round and put a pendulum on that merry-go-round and spun the merry-go-round, but then let the pendulum swing, the pendulum would maintain its position as the merry-go-round span. It wouldn't take the pendulum with it. The reason the pendulum drifts from your position is because it's maintaining its swing relative to the axis of the Earth's rotation. Nothing in physics agrees with your suggestion that it would start on its own. So if that's your claim, I would love to see the maths behind that.
Okay, we'll move on to the next section, which is basically interrogation. So side B, which is going to be Craig, is going to ask any question you want of Brother Sanchez, and then Brother Sanchez, you have a minute to answer. Then you can respond, Craig, and then Sanchez a minute to close, and we'll do that 4 times.
Okay. Thanks. So, Sanchez, in the image that you are showing here on screen at the moment, the entire filtration system is in a craft. None of it is exposed to space. So where do you get the assumption that that particular thing that you are showing there shouldn't be working when it's inside a craft?
When the astronaut is actually walking on the moon, you mean when you say it's inside of a craft, you mean the spacecraft. I'm saying they have to leave the spacecraft. This is the personal life support system backpack that I'm showing. You understand? Let me ask you a question. Okay, say that. Hold up, I didn't hear you say it again.
Sorry, I was the image that you were showing previously of the filtration unit on a system, attached to something with what you claim is duct tape.
Yeah, no, I'm not claiming that. That's literally on NASA's website where they show it's attached using duct tape. It's right here, cloth tape.
Do you have any evidence that it's duct tape, or?
You better hope it's duct tape, because that's the strongest stuff we got, buddy. I hope it ain't Scotch tape. I hope it ain't electric tape.
Okay, sorry. I mean, do you have any evidence that it is duct tape and maybe not some kind of?
I looked at. I went to NASA.gov, and this is what I was given. Okay, duct tape. Now you're the. So I mean, well, we don't got the harp on the duct tape, no matter what kind of tape it was, right? It don't matter the brand. We ain't gonna sit here and worry about the brand, are we? So the thing is, no kind of adhesive though can withstand the kind of temperatures we see on the moon and still work. The question you need to ask is, why is we using tape with a personal life support system? I wouldn't trust my life with any kind of tape. So, but can I go ahead and reiterate some more on the argument about filtration?
Can I ask a question about that a sec, though?
And then Craig's got a minute to answer. Or
sure.
Sure.
No
so what you show with the duct tape isn't the astronaut's life support system. That's an improvised CO2 scrubber inside the craft. Nothing on their personal support system had duct tape or anything, and in fact their cooling system was a sublimation cooling system that they used for their personal support systems inside their suits. The image that you're showing with the duct tape on isn't what's on their suits. That's, like I said, that's an improvised CO2 scrubber that they came up with during the mission. None of what you're saying, Brother Sanchez, kind of glues together. You're saying, well, this is duct tape, and then they're out in space, but they weren't using the thing that you're saying is duct tape whilst they were out in the vacuum on the moon. So I don't really understand your correlation here.
Okay, wait, my turn to respond.
Or we're supposed to go to the next question, but if you have one more thing to say, you can.
Yeah, he want to play all games with duct tape when my argument was about air compression in space and air filtration systems in a vacuum. Now, he want to talk about the tape, but what we need to talk about is the equipment it closed? Is it pressurized? No, it was not. It was exposed to space, so the gas and liquids within it would have been behaving accordingly. I don't want to keep arguing with him about duct tape. That's his way of running from the real argument, if you ask me. But let's move on.
Okay, that's good. That was the first question. So we got 3 more of those. So now you're up, Sanchez. You ask him a question, anything you want. You get a minute.
Okay, so my question is going to be, let me pull it up real quick. Pull this up real quick. So the thermosphere is, hold on, sorry about that. The thermosphere is 3,700 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to ask him what kind of aluminum did Apollo use that can make it through the thermosphere at those temperatures, because steel, right, melts at 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit, and platinum melts at 3,215. And we talk about aluminum, we way low on a totem pole. I want to know, because in the 60s, they used aluminum, and they made it through the thermosphere, which is 3,700 degrees Fahrenheit, should have been melting aluminum. Can you teach us what was so special and miraculous about this 1960s aluminum?
Okay, time. And then you got a minute. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Yeah, nothing particularly special. The problem here is a basic misunderstanding of the mechanism behind heat transfer. Yes, the individual particles in the thermosphere are extremely hot. However, there isn't many of them. And because there isn't many particles in the thermosphere, they aren't hitting the craft to transfer that heat energy to the craft. So regardless of the fact that the particles in the thermosphere in general are that hot, there isn't anything to transfer that heat energy to the craft. So there's no issue going out into the thermosphere. It actually gets, what the craft would experience gets colder and colder and colder because there is less availability of mass to transfer the energy of heat.
Okay, get a minute, Sanchez.
And hold on, but what portion of the, I'm sorry, my bad.
Just to answer what he's talking about. We're still on the same question about the heat, the temperature.
Okay, yeah, I'm very confident on my question. He didn't really answer it to satisfactory. I think both sides will agree. So I would like to propose another question in. We don't have to go back and forth with it. I'll accept his answer as a cop-out.
Okay. So next is Craig. Go ahead and ask your question. Get a minute.
Yeah, okay.
Unless you have something else to say, you do have another minute if you want on that other last subject.
Yeah, okay. Well, to kind of expand on that, if that's okay. Sanchez, right? Could you stick your hand in a pot of water that's 95 degrees? Could you do that?
I just agreed that you know what I'm saying? I wanted to propose another question.
Okay, you just have a minute, so you don't need to ask him anything.
Yeah, I ain't gonna go back and forth on you.
I'll say this, right? You couldn't take your hand and stick it in a 95-degree-centigrade pot of water. You just couldn't do that. All right, your hand would burn. However, you can sit in a sauna at 95 degrees. You can sit in a steam room at 95 degrees because there's less of the
okay. Listen, Craig.
Transfer it to you,
well,
which is why it doesn't melt.
I'll entertain it with you then. You're comparing me to a metal called aluminum. That's why I don't want to do that with you. I think your example is flawed. We're talking about, look, if they're not flying through the thermosphere in their body, they're protecting themselves with aluminum, and I'm saying that's no protection against the thermosphere. And your idea of the sauna and a pot of water, it just isn't applicable here. So I said I'll agree to disagree and let the people judge on who's coming out on that one. So we can move forward.
Okay, so it's Craig's turn to ask you a question.
Okay,
sure.
Sanchez, why is there no flat map with an accurate scale that it depicts the entire world?
A flat map with an accurate scale?
Yeah, why isn't there any flat map that depicts the entire world that has an accurate scale for the entire map?
I'm really honestly not trying to be funny, but I really don't know what you're talking about, what you asking me to produce.
Okay, so when you have maps, like if you're driving in your car
Okay.
And you'll be looking at the map, and there'd be a scale saying, so this much of what you see on the map is 25 miles, right? So that's the scale, okay? Which works when you've got like you're doing your road journeys, okay? Small portions. But when you have a flat map of the entire world, there is no scale that maintains its accuracy for the entire thing. For instance, if you take the
Say that again.
So if you take the equidistant projection map, right, it maintains its distances from north to south, but as you go east to west, the distances become distorted. So there's no scale that would be accurate for the entire map. And that's the same for all flat maps of the entire world. There is no scale that maintains its accuracy for the entire thing. Why is that?
Okay, you got a minute?
Okay, so as far as I can't speak to all maps, I just want to say in particular the AE map dealing with flat Earth. I think you're asking me for, because I'm still having a hard time trying to see exactly what you're asking me for. But in the case of the AE map, is simply trying to show us the azimuth. It's an azimuth equidistant map. It's not really like if you're looking at certain maps are used for certain purposes. So I wouldn't look at a weather map for travel. I wouldn't look at a travel map to look at when I want to look at weather pockets in area. I look at a weather map. So there are different maps for specific purposes, and I'm just trying to answer you the best I can because I don't know what you want me to produce for real. I don't think you use your question good to prove a globe if you talking maps, but I'll be willing for you to hear you clarify that again, and I'll try my best to answer you again. But yeah.
Go ahead, Craig, if you have anything else.
Yeah, well, do you want me to try and clarify that question for you? I think the best way.
What do you want me to show you? Yeah.
Well, right. So I can take a globe, right, and I can use that globe to navigate the Earth. The distances on that.
You can take a flat map. You could take a map, correct?
I literally do it with a globe in celestial navigation, right? The distances on the globe are correct wherever you choose. You can choose from South America to South Africa, from Norway to Australia. Whatever you choose, the distances depicted on the globe, the scale is accurate. But there is no map that depicts a flat world that maintains the accuracy of scale throughout the entire map. There's only one thing that depicts the entire world that maintains its accuracy for scale, and that is a globe. Why is that?
Okay, and I'm going to give that's an easy answer. Pilots don't fly with globes, y'all. Pilots fly with flat maps. This is all, it's a very simple answer. He's saying there's no flat maps that's accurate when we literally use flat maps. We don't use globes to navigate. So let's go to the next part of the debate.
Okay. Because that is the end of that question. So we got one more. Now it's on to who just went. It's you, Brother Sanchez. You ask him a question.
Okay, so we get another question. Okay, okay, so my next question is, let me see here. So my next question is going to be, hold on a second, guys. Sorry for being a little unorganized here.
I'm good, no worries.
Okay, right. Okay. I'll just do this because I got so many tabs open. Let me just pull this in. So my next question is, how did President Nixon make a landline phone call to the moon? Can you explain the systems that was used in the 60s to do this in detail, to translate that call during a time where we was really dealing with like 8-bit technology? We talking digital technology. You guys got to think this was before even Atari. This was, the best radios we had on Earth, You know, those were horrible. You know, I'm just saying I would ask him the question then. Yeah, can you explain the technology that would allow us in the 60s to make a wireless transmission from Earth to the moon and get such a clear signal and speed as Nixon did?
Go ahead, Craig.
Okay, so they didn't literally use the phone to call the moon. The phone went from the Oval Office in Washington, where it was routed to space via the mission control through the capsule communicator astronaut Bruce McCandless. So it was the phone was basically connected to the mission control that was sending the signal to the moon. And radio communication is something that we've had for many decades, and isn't really an issue. So yeah, it wasn't just a landline call to the moon. It was a call routed to mission control and then sent to the moon with about a 1.5 delay in total when they were talking.
Okay,
so he
follow up. Go ahead.
He didn't explain none of the technology they used. He just said it was sent to command control and they sent it to the moon. But he should have been telling us what kind of technology did command control used then. He still didn't explain the technology, guys. Don't let him get away with that. I yield the floor.
Okay, minute to close.
Radio transmissions, radio antennas, the technology to communicate via radio is something that we've had, for like over a century.
Let me ask. Let me ask this. You mind?
And the technology was quite simple. It was just a phone call that was connected to mission control, which they then sent to the moon with their radio equipment.
I just want to sit this screen share here, and I'm gonna end my argument. I'm doing a good job on this one. And to say that this, guys, is what radios looked like in the 60s. This is what radio technology, the level it was on in the 60s. So good luck. Good luck. That's all I'm going to say. We were still using antennas and all. Good luck. And I want to know how you transmit a signal through a vacuum when we send radio waves through the atmosphere.
Okay, so we've got now for round 4, it's just going to be open dialogue. Back and forth, and I have here are the notes. During the back and forth, please allow the other to speak. If someone does interrupt or interject, the one speaking can either say I'm speaking or let the other one respond. So if the person does say I'm speaking and you're interjecting, just be quiet so I don't have to mute you. I'll point out any abuse, and then if I have to point out things more than twice, you could get muted. And then during the back and forth, you can tell me to mute the other person for a minute if you want. You each get 2 of those. So just tell me mute him, and I will mute that person, and you get a free minute for yourself. You each have 2 of those. So it's open dialogue. Go ahead.
Okay, so Craig, man, you're gonna be pretty respectful with this back and forth. We done had our bad times. Let's start off by me asking you something. Fair enough?
Yeah, well, after my recent issues with my heart, I'm not looking for an argument. So I actually asked NASA if they could turn on the well-behaved Ftfe firmware update. So I'm on my best behavior. I will do my absolute best to not interrupt, but please understand that sometimes during a back and forth, an interjection is needed to clarify a point, but I will do my best to be respectful with it. So please go ahead.
Thank you so much. And again, I'm sorry that happened to you. We need you here. Even though it's flat Earth versus globe Earth, man, we got love for y'all. So check this out.
Appreciate
Craig.
that. Like I said, actually, there was, when I said this in the pre-show to my chat, the issue that I had in my heart, the majority of people, including flat earthers, have been really nice to me about it, wishing me the best, hoping that I get better and everything. There was a couple of people that are nasty, and Jeranism, I think this is something you and I can both agree with. Nathan Oakley is a bit of a dickhead. So he was one of the people that was shitty about it. But in general, everyone, including flat earthers, have been quite nice to me about my recent health scare. So I do appreciate that for both sides.
Yep. And I want to drop a bomb for y'all for that, because we humans before we flat and globe earthers. So let me just say, I'm gonna go to the radio thing. We're gonna revisit the radio thing, right? On Earth, the way sound travel to our ears is by vibrating air molecules, all right, for lack of better words. So in space, there are no molecules to vibrate. So how do we, on Earth, the way we send a radio wave is through those same air molecules. So my thing is, if there is no molecules to, in space, how do you transmit a signal through this vacuum? I've been reading a lot of sites that say you can't hear it in space and all of that. There is no medium to transmit a wave through. I can send a wave through the ocean because the water is a medium for me to send a wave and push a wave your way. How do I send a wave through a vacuum, through something with there's the void of a medium?
Okay, so it's true that mechanical waves, sound, vibrations, they need a medium to travel. However, what we've discovered in science is that electromagnetic waves are self-propagating. They don't require a medium to go through. You can transfer radio signals or any kind of electromagnetic energy through a vacuum. This works through the fact that you can see light in a vacuum chamber, because light is nothing but an electromagnetic wave. Okay, yeah, it has wave particle duality. We consider it as a wave. That's what light is, and you can see it in the video you showed earlier. There was a vacuum chamber, but we could still see inside that vacuum chamber, showing that the waves of energy that is the light that we are seeing are still able to move around within that vacuum chamber. Electromagnetic waves don't require a medium to propagate. That is the answer.
So you think in the 60s with the radio technology that I just showed on the screen, we talking walkie-talkie technology almost, you think that we had the capabilities to send this signal through all this solar radiation, Van Allen belts? And that's another question I'm interested. I know they want me to ask you this. Why haven't we been able to make it back through the Van Allen belts? Because you got to understand a good question. We say as flat earthers, Craig. If you look at technology in the 60s, Craig, now let's just have be for real. Look at technology in the 60s. A floppy disk was the size of a kitchen table almost. I'm just saying, like, how are we able to go to the moon with this kind of technology, but we ain't able to get back today, and we got Neuralink, we got all kind of advanced technology. I think that in itself is something that's it should be explained more in detail. That's a big argument as well.
Okay, there's a few questions there for me to address. I guess the first one is, how did they get through the Van Allen belts? Well, or the Van Halen belts, did you say?
Well, not how they make it through them. That ain't it. It's basically
why they haven't gone back. Is that the question?
Wouldn't it be easier for us to go back today than it was then?
No, it's the opposite. So the thing is, back in the 60s, the majority of technology was analog, right? On board those, the Apollo craft, it wasn't like hyper advanced. It was manual stuff. Your valves you turn with your hand and stuff like that. The computer technology that was there was very, very minimal. And even the computer technology, the transistors and stuff were extremely large. Now, with modern technology, the transistors and all the components are much, much smaller and more intricate. And they can be affected by solar radiation much more than the technology could be back in the 60s. So the challenge now is how to protect the technology we have from solar radiation, because it's much more susceptible because of the way that it is designed. Smaller transistors, smaller components can be affected more by the waves from solar energy than the larger analog versions they had back in the 60s. So it's become a challenge now to figure out how to get the new technology through. because we don't have that technology from the 60s. You wouldn't want that technology from the 60s. That was dangerous. I wouldn't want. I spent years in the submarine, and I would not want to go to space in the Apollo vehicles. They were death traps. All right. So we have much better technology now, and we've just had to figure out ways to protect it from solar radiation.
And another thing, like if you understand, like you said, they had to compromise because they was about to die, and they told them to use the tape because they was trying to fit the circular end of that hose into the square peg. You know about that, right? Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research. So let me explain. Yeah. So on the back of these, let's go to these real quick. On the back of these little life support systems, you have a circular hose, but it's going in a square pipe. It never was a good connection. So that's why they had to use the tape. You can look this up even on NASA's website. And I just said, man, wow, that ain't a real good sturdy connection right there. You know, you really relying on tape and adhesiveness to attach like these heavy metals and stuff. It just, to me, that wasn't really clicking for me because this thing supposed to be pressurized. You don't want no leakages from the outside coming in. And that was like very janky, as we call it. When you agree that the Apollo mission was a miracle, though, I'm talking about by every definition of the word.
Look, 100%, I agree that it is extremely impressive that there were as few injuries and stuff during the Apollo missions. All right, every single one of those astronauts knew that they were getting into a death trap, and the likelihood of getting back wasn't that great. This was just something they accepted. Okay, would I have done it? Probably. Would I have been fucking scared? Absolutely 100%. But it doesn't change the fact that they did it. Now, quickly to respond to what you're saying again about the CO2 scrubbers and stuff, that wasn't part of their life support outside of the craft. That what they did with that the duct tape and jerry rigging the CO2 scrubbers was something inside the craft that they had to do because the CO2 levels were peaking and the scrubbers weren't working properly.
I understand.
They only have limited tools at their disposal, so they use what they can have. If there was an issue up there in space, you can't call RAC and go, please come and help me. You use whatever you've got to fix the problem. So that's why you see things like that CO2 scrubber attached with what appears to be duct tape and stuff, because that's what they had to fix a problem at the time.
Excuse me. Yeah, but like you said, if you look at this image right here, when an astronaut only has his PLSS, which is please, and that's its personal life support system. When he's outside the ship, like what we see right here, I know that these things wasn't compromised. I know the incident you explaining what happened inside the ship. What I'm saying is he's walking around with a heat pump, basically a air compressor on his back. And the only way that can work is if, like you said, if this thing is fully enclosed and there's none of the outside elements of like the outside of space getting into this thing. Once he get a leak, he's compromised. My thing is, I believe that they were definitely compromised. You can't tell me when we look at the design of these things that there was no outside getting in. You're saying that a debate is based on science and evidence, but I think you got to have a strong belief in this old 60s technology to think that this PLSS system that I'm showing on the screen wasn't jeopardized to space. And we could take away the duct tape.
Why would that have been jeopardized to space though? Because that's inside a craft. That's not exposed to space.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the backpacks. The primary, see, let's read this right here. On the back of the spacesuits, the primary life support subsystem. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when he's leaving the, so you keep saying that's inside of the capsule. I'm
Yeah, because
talking
you
about.
keep showing the. Don't you?
Say that again. You
So,
cut out.
are we talking about the spacesuits, or are we talking about the CO2 scrubber they improvised? Which one?
No, I know about the improvisation that they did in the shuttle. I know about that incident. I'm talking about
Okay.
all I'm saying this right here. If NASA is using air compression technology and basically using this in the 60s, right? They was using like a fan system in the middle of there. They was using, like I said, like a fish tank filters water. I'm saying if they was using any of this in the 60s, it would have been compromised because the technology of air compressors and all. You hear what I'm saying? Think about what an air compressor is. Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what the cooling system on their suits were? Do you know how they dealt with cooling and stuff?
Yeah. I read about all the different layers that they had to the suit and all of that.
Okay.
You want to go over it?
Do you know
Sure.
what the sublimation cooling system was?
I read about the sublimation cooling system, and it's basically, like I was saying, based upon 60s heat pump technology. I went to the Department of Energy site and NASA, and they was explaining this whole filtration system on how the spacesuits work. You want to go over, pull up some of that together?
But I'm not sure what your point is here. Are you saying that the suits couldn't work for some reason? Why couldn't
watch this? Watch this. Let me show you why.
Pressurized,
Let me show you why.
If the suits
Hold on.
Sanchez.
No, but that'll be the debate then, because if the suits was pressurized or not would then be a debate. That's the debate that we happen, because that you would have to prove. Okay, go ahead.
So the suits were pressurized, and that was the point. That's how they managed to maintain their filtration and everything. Then they had a sublimation cooling system which ran water over a really fine filter that was exposed to space to allow heat transfer to happen. But there was no actual exposing the internals of the suit to space in any way. The whole thing is an enclosed pressurized system that they everything the heat pumps and the fans, everything, they were all enclosed.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Hold on, hold on 1 second, Craig. Let me ask you something real quick, because you kind of you're kind of choppy on my end a little bit, like you keep lagging. I just want to let you know. But I tell you what, we'll do this right here. Now, you see how water is behaving inside of this ISS like a lava lamp? Let's look at this. Yeah. Isn't his eyes made out of water, Craig? Yes or no?
Water in his body.
I didn't ask that. I didn't ask was it water in his body. I'm saying, don't we have water on the surface of our eyes, Craig?
Yes, we have water on the surface of our eyes.
Okay, thank you. Why don't the water on the surface of our eyes just float off of the surface like all of this water? What's stopping it? It's not enclosed. Look at these guys right here. Why eyes? Yeah, why you should? I mean, because think about what I'm asking you, Craig.
Can I answer that?
I got you. Let me clarify it. I got you. Let me clarify it. If he started crying right now, his tears would just float away like that water. I'm saying that layer of water is already on his eyes. What's stopping it from just doing it right there?
Right. Okay. Simple answer is water's sticky. Surface tension is a thing. Any water that is on his eye will literally be stuck to it. If he started crying and there was excess water, then bits of it would bead off, but there'd still be bits stuck to his face, because despite what kind of is logical to think of, water is an extremely sticky thing. You put your hand in water, it sticks to you. There's surface tension, and the water on his eyes is going to be sticking to his eyes because of surface tension.
Okay. All right. I got another question for you. Their bodies are not enclosed. We have openings on our bodies. What's stopping space from making the internal liquids inside of them just float around and bubble around? Like, why would they have a proper digestive reactions and fluids and everything if they're not? Why ain't the fluids in their body bound to the same thing if their body's not enclosed, like you said? If it ain't, yeah, go ahead.
The thing, they don't have normal digestion. All right, us sitting here on Earth, okay, when we eat, our food is pulled down to the bottom of our belly where it can sit in that digestive pool. But they are technically under zero gravity because they're in free fall. They don't have that. Astronauts have terrible problems with constipation and stuff, right? Because of what is happening to their body. I don't know if you realize this, but it's actually a problem for astronauts in space. They have issues with going to the toilet because their digestion isn't working the same way as it does here on Earth. So yeah, there is issues. There's things they have to deal with. There's toilets that have to be specially designed to deal with problems.
Craig,
you said why doesn't it do it? But it does, bro, Sanchez.
Okay.
Differently, all the fluids in their body are doing different things to what we have here. There's different forces being.
So I got you. So you telling me that the fluids in his body is doing what that water glob is doing, and he are having problems. So I think he would be dead. You wouldn't be able to think about this though, Craig. You got liquid in your veins. And your veins wouldn't be able to flow right. Like I said, that goes back to my earlier argument. There is no flow. Hold on. We going back and forth. I've been letting you go. I'm gonna be quick. This goes back to my first point about flow in space. Here is the human digestive system. The way that we filter foods through our body is through absorption and all of that. And that's why I brought that up. Because the same problems his body would have is the same problem that the primary life support system would have in space if it's not enclosed. But your argument was, well, it's enclosed. Well, his body's not enclosed. And if that's what I'm saying. I just don't see him surviving what really would happen if the fluids in your body was doing this. You will not survive that. Yeah, you won't survive that. You go ahead.
So, your body is a pressurized system. The blood in your veins isn't just flopping around, dude. The blood in your veins is
circulating.
The blood in your veins is in please, I'm talking. Thank you. The blood in your veins is in a highly pressurized system with an extremely effective pump pushing it around. Do you know what that pump's called?
Heart. Do you see what I got highlighted in green? Even your heart requires suction or pumping force.
Right. So the fact that your heart is pumping the blood around your body means that it's going to keep moving. It's a pressurized system. In your stomach, which is, there's more space in there because they're in free fall. So is the stuff in their stomach. That means the digestion, it doesn't sit all at the bottom like it would here on Earth. One of the results of this for the astronauts is that it's impossible to burp in space. If they try to burp in space, they just vomit because the gases don't separate from the fluids in the same way in their stomach. But there's nothing going to affect their blood because their blood is in a highly pressurized enclosed system controlled by an extremely effective pump.
So astronauts can't burp, they can't poop, they damn. It's a lot going on.
It's not an easy life, dude. I'm
gonna tell you straight up, Craig. If the liquids in your body was behaving like this, you would be dead. They said that 90% of our brain is brain fluids. And you telling me that their brain fluids is literally doing this. They will be having amnesia, retardation. They will be having autism, all kind of brain problems as well. Our body's 70%. Our bodies is 70% water and liquids, and you telling me we can survive it and come back and everything is okay with all of our liquids doing this? Okay, we can. You know what, man? And when you said the constipation, the lack of burping, man, this is just a
Yeah.
lot. This is a lot.
I don't know if you knew that, because it's not that they don't just live the same as us down here. They've got to make a lot of changes to their life. It's
They're
very
Superman,
uncomfortable.
right? He don't look like
When they come back, when they come back to space,
he don't look like a constipated man that can't burp. He look like he's having fun, not like he's full of shit and full of air.
Well, maybe he didn't eat recently. Who knows? But you ask him to burp and he's not going to do it. He's just going to vomit everywhere.
Oh, wow. He's having a lot of fun when he's constipated. But
a lot of this comes down to...
Hey, Craig, have you ever been constipated before? This ain't what it looks like when you're constipated. I don't want to play if I can't burp and can't poop. I don't want to play water bubble game. Nope.
Well, that's your personal thing that you have to deal with, but that's the reality of living in space. And to be honest, you've not given any evidence that this isn't the case. You've just gone, I don't think that could happen, without any evidence behind
listen,
I'm still talking right now.
They never. This is a back and forth. This is a back and forth, though. This is what this round is about, though.
Please, I can finish saying there. That's all right. Thank you. So, Bro Sanchez, what you're doing is just saying, well, I don't believe this could happen, without really looking into the physics of what's going on within the body. You're just making an assumption because you don't think it could happen, because you see the way that water reacts. But you're forgetting the main point, that our bodies are pressurized. Our bodies are, in enclosed systems, especially the blood. It's highly pressurized. So it's not going to react the same way that water sphere that you're showing is. I'm done.
He think that his body, he really think that his body is enclosed, guys. That's what I'm saying. He think his body is not susceptible to outside elements. I don't understand his concept that he's maintaining the fact that the liquids in their body are behaving like this. That's why they can't poop. I'm pretty sure they have an urine problem. You can't pee right by the same logic. You can't, let me go. You can't fart, you can't burp. And once you start thinking about all of the liquids in your body, just doing that what they wilt like Aleister Crowley, you don't even have a proper circulation now. There's so many things going on that you wouldn't be able to survive because of this phenomena. And Craig want to just blow it all out the water by saying, well, they bodies aren't like ours. These guys are Supermen. They're and that's he's saying, I don't have enough proof to prove that it's fake, but they don't have enough proof to prove that it's real, other than videos like this playing bubble games while you're constipated. You know what I'm saying? Like this, if this proof that this is real, then that's not enough proof. So I can be fair and say both sides is scrutinizing the other one and using and just trying to investigate the matter. But at the same time, you're not consistent, Craig, because you're saying that, yes, you're right, the liquids in his body is doing that, but we already know what will happen if we say on the outside of that ship, they'll die. What's stopping them from dying on the inside of the ship if the same laws that govern the outside of this ship we see in effect on the inside? If they trying to, you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, yeah, Jeranism, you got it.
Well, our time's up. So Craig, but you can finish off the last 45 seconds if you want.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, you're kind of, giving the body one thing. There's lots of different pressures within the body. I've explained about the fact that it's harder to go to the toilet and you literally can't burp, but that's a different system to your blood and everything. Your blood and your brain fluid, that's all very enclosed, very pressurized, very controlled by mechanisms in your body. There is differences as to how we live on Earth, as to how the astronauts live in space in regards to dealing with fluids, especially with things like burping and stuff. But that's, I've told you how that happens, and it's not an issue. It's uncomfortable, but there's no reason that they wouldn't be able to survive. So, yeah.
Okay. And now we're going to go to a closing, just 3 minutes each. And then after that, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back for and we'll let all the guests jump in to ask questions, or all the viewers. So who's supposed to go first? Who went first in the beginning? Sanchez did. So Craig, you go first here for the closing.
Okay.
3 minutes.
So what I found here is that I presented evidence for the Earth rotating, which backs up the premise that we are on a globe that is rotating. I showed, explain the physics behind why a pendulum does what it does, and it's based on what would happen if the Earth is a globe. So I presented evidence that backs up my claim that we live on a spinning globe, because this is what physics says would happen, and you can show that this is the case. Whereas I feel like Bro Sanchez failed to actually present any evidence of the Earth being flat, instead tried to debunk the moon landings by not really understanding the technology that he's talking about or the functions of the human body. And this is what I find in most of the debates that I come into, is that there's not really evidence for the flat Earth. I don't think the Earth's a globe because this doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to insult you, Bro Sanchez, but please, I would suggest looking into the things that you have talked about more specifically. Maybe talking to some doctors about how people would deal with life in space and get an understanding of that, instead of just saying that you don't think it would work. I could present countless measurements of the Earth being curved, of the Earth rotating. I can present scientific evidence. I can present videos, and it will all just be dismissed out of hand because of, frankly, a lack of understanding of basic physics. I don't know what else I can say here other than I feel like I'm the only one that's actually presented evidence in this debate. Just aside quickly, Jeran, I feel like you've been extremely fair as a moderator, and I do appreciate that very much. So thank you. But I think that's all I need for my closing statement.
Okay, Bro Sanchez, you got 3 minutes.
Yes, Foucault's pendulum doesn't prove the motion of the Earth, guys. And it's as simple as, if I'm gonna debunk space, because one thing about flat Earth is one part is me proving that it's flat, another part is me disproving that it's round. If I'm in a debate, I'm coming to debunk the globe, or I can come and just prove flat Earth. I got countless amount of videos on my channels doing that. We got countless information on that. I wanted to go head on showing the ridiculousness of the religion and the belief system of space. And I stick to that, because he's trying to throw my claims out without thinking about them. And he's part of a religious system and don't even know it. Here's the proof, guys. Look at what the NASA astronaut is showing us on the ISS, how water doesn't absorb to a tower. That's what he's proving in this, that water doesn't absorb to a tower. But the filtration systems inside of the ISS require absorption. So if water won't absorb, how do you properly filter something if you can't pour the water through those cotton layers because it's behaving the way we see here? You can't have your cake and eat it too. In space, does water glob up and become super Earths and gas giants, or does it flow? Can you have a river in space? We know that we never saw a river of water in space, that water become a super Earth, which is a big glob of water, a glob, and that the gas become a gas giant. We don't see this flowing and circulating rivers of water in space. And this astronaut shows this. So how can you have a filtration system that would be based upon the water absorbing through the medium? That was the basis of my argument. Was he's got to have a strong belief in technology and equipment. All right. He didn't go up to space firsthand. So he think that he won bringing up Foucault pendulum, but I'm showing him the ridiculousness of him, of you having suction in a vacuum. The only way he can combat that is to say you don't understand the equipment. This equipment was just so advanced, right? But we was in the 60s, and I showed you the technology in the 60s. Go look it up. People, this was before Nintendo. There's a lot, but we'll be having more debates. This was interesting. I want to appreciate Craig. I think this debate was a lot more respectful and professional than the other one, and Jeranism made that very possible because, you know, things need to be structured. So let me say salutes to that, and we can allow the callers to call in. And Craig, yeah, appreciate you. I look forward to doing this more, man.
Okay, let me send a link to you guys, or you can send it out.
I'll just stick it in my chat if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, because you already have it. Yep, it's fine. Hopefully the waiting room's turned on. I'm not sure.
I think I was put into a waiting room. If you're the host,
Okay.
Jeran, you can on.
I don't know where that would be though. I think you have to.
I think if you go to security, there's options there to turn on a waiting room.
Oh, security. Let me see. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Enable waiting room. Yeah, it's on. Okay. And
Yeah, this was very.
Did you put it to your group?
Yeah,
Brother,
I posted it in my chat, so people.
How about you, Brother Sanchez?
Oh snap! Yeah,
so guys, if you want to join, make sure you've got Zoom installed or on your phone or your PC. Click the link, and you will be put into a waiting room and then brought in when it's your time to talk. If you join,
hold on. Very important. Very important. Let's turn off the screen share before we let them on. We don't want no porn bombs.
Yeah, agreed.
Good call.
Yeah. Just specifically to my side, if you do join, please try to be respectful. I know this is, a hot topic and it can get heated, and especially, you know, that I can get heated. I'm doing my best to be behaved, and I would very much appreciate it from my side if you guys come in to just try to maintain the decorum that we've had during this debate. Thank you very much. Are we going to have a little break, did you say, Jeran, before we
go ahead
do
and
that?
we can take 5 minutes. What time is it? 7:16. So yeah, we'll start like 7:25. That's 10 minutes. So about there. We'll make sure you're back by
I'm
then.
going to go and hit the toilet. I'll mute myself for now. Guys, feel free to join, and you'll be let in to ask questions and stuff. Speak to you all in a minute.
Okay.
Hey guys, if y'all ain't sub to Jeranism, then you know you slipping. So yeah.
And what's the matter with you?
For real. For real. And
Can we go to the bathroom? Be right back. People can load in there. And then I guess we'll just bring on one at a time, Brother Sanchez, and then they can ask it, because we won't know who they're asking, you or him, right? So just kind of bring them on one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm muting up.
Be right back.
Yo, this make me want to never do another debate again without a moderator. What y'all think? Even if you got to wait on it just to get everything set up right, because the way this thing went was smooth and just, woo. I ain't gonna lie, that joint was the way hey, that's what's up. And I said, I'm going to keep that thing respectful. We're going to make, and the numbers show that it was a professional bill. That's how the debate's going to be. So we can really give y'all a way to see who really the victor without no yelling over each other, none of that. You know, I got to revisit this topic about compressors in space now. Yeah, that part about the astronauts are constipated all the time was funny, Craig. them shitty astronauts, man. Them shitty knots. They not shit. That's what they not doing. Talking about astronaut. Pooping, not. Hey, that's gonna be a highlight, man. Oh, your mic muted, Craig. Oh, he might be talking to his people. Damn, Craig responded to me by saying, hey, they do the if you think the liquids in their body doing that, oh my God. Hey, y'all, call in. As you gonna just let his people call in. Craig, you got the link over there on your side? Why your people ain't calling in? I don't see nobody in the back chat. Oh man, I beat the boo-boo out of Craig this time with that constipation line. Damn. Oh man. I don't think I ever heard that one before. Astronauts can't pee right, poop right. But that man did not look constipated. He chasing them little water balls around. He don't look constipated to me. Nah, man. Craig said, that's just you. That's how you would act if you was constipated. I'm like, you telling me they that constipated in space and ain't no toms up there, no tom. None of them on the ship. They should be throwing them, just floating them around. Toms just floating over there, chomping them down. Toms. I'll be up there like, you need one of these Toms, bro? Floating one to you now. Boop. Craig said, I can't shit, baby. You know I'm crazy, Craig. You know I got to be ignorant, Craig. I'm just messing with you, though. Where you go, though? Unmute your mic, my brother. We waiting on the callers, but ain't nobody joining.
Oh, I'm here. Sorry, I was just using the loo.
You got the link? Oh,
I put the link in my chat. I'll put it in again. So guys, if you want to join to ask questions, there is the Zoom link in the chat now. Feel free to hit that. Hopefully we'll get some people join from either side.
And Craig, I hope you just took a dump for every astronaut that ever went to space, my brother.
Yeah, not enough time for that. And I saw some people asking what this is. This is cannabis vape that I've made, so don't need to worry about that. Hey, bro Sanchez, what's your thoughts on weed?
It's a nice herb. That you know, it's a nice herb.
I'm full on cannabis activist. I don't know if you realize, but I'm of the belief that cannabis saved my life 100%.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah. So and you see, I've got this vape pen, and I've been making my own e-liquid with like cannabis resin and stuff. And oh my god, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, everybody that's around me vaping, I gotta step my game up. That's more healthier too.
It's healthier than hitting the bowls and doing the blunts. Yeah. You get some really nice flavors, the terpenes and stuff for it. It's incredible.
You're right about that, and that keep your teeth clean and white.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
That show, hey, that's what's up, man. Hey, salutes to Craig in the house too, man. Hey, Craig, your folks are relentless over there. Salutes to them over there. And they should be joining with the link, how relentless they are. Come on, what's y'all mascot over there, man?
Post it in my Discord as well.
They want to know what's that green thing in your hand on that thumbnail, man. What's like your kryptonite for the flat earth?
Oh, okay. So that is my Green Lantern power ring. I don't know. Do you know who the Green Lanterns are, bro Sanchez?
Yeah, I figured it was Green Lantern. That was a dumb question. Yeah.
Yeah, I am the newest Green Lantern of Sector 2814. So yeah, it's all good. No, that avatar of me was actually some fan art that someone done of me. And I loved it so much that I paid them for the rights to have it. They were like, no, you don't need to pay me. But I'm like, no, I want to use that. It's amazing. So I thought it was only right to give them money for it, because if I'm going to use it in my thumbnails and stuff, you know, that they should get paid for it. I mean, I wish I looked that good, you know.
Hey, but you're a good man, though. That's what's up. Yeah, you said I got to pay you for this. Yeah, but you know, you did lose this debate, Craig. You still
Oh
my
yeah, of
friend.
course I did. Yeah, I've lost the debate with the evidence I brought. Yes. Hey, Jeranism, are you there?
I'm back. Ready?
So, Jeranism, do you know that Nathan Oakley claims that you and I are both paid by the same people?
Oh boy. Yeah. I heard their evidence for that is because I'm bad at debate.
I'm missing some like paychecks. Is there someone I should speak to? Have you got a number? Or
No, we don't get paid. They just
Nathan
don't.
Oakley said it.
No, they just don't kill us.
Ah, right. Yeah. Because of, according to Nathan Oakley, we're both working together because we both understand that science doesn't prove things.
Yeah, they don't get it. Their evidence for me being a agent or something is because I'm bad at debates. That's really evidence. I'm like,
Fair.
my dad
right?
is bad at debates. Does that mean he also works for the government?
No. I mean, Jeran, obviously I don't agree with anything you say, and I've got my issues just like you've got your issues with me, but the debates I've seen you in, there's a lot worse people I've seen perform in debates. I've only seen you maybe do 4 or 5 debates. So maybe you don't have the the experience in debating and knowing the scripts, etc., like I do and other people. Doesn't mean that you don't know your arguments well. Plus, which is a bonus. Not being Nathan Oakley is definitely a bonus, right?
Well, I mean, if you have the mute button, you can be very good at debates. And if that's all you utilize, then yeah, you're going to be good. If you won't go on a neutral platform and debate, then I don't know how you're a debater anyway. But no, it's just, what are you going to do? These guys have their own opinions. They can believe whatever they want. All right. So a ton of people, man. How many people did you have? 21 people in here already. Okay. Nice. It would be nice if we went back and forth. So maybe what I could do, can they raise their hands or no? Probably not.
I think there is a way to raise your hand.
Maybe only when they're inside.
Okay. You know what's crazy? I'm like, where are all the people that's joining? And I forgot Jeran, the host. He got that in control. My bad. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way I can actually choose which one. So we'll just start at the top and go down.
Yeah. That'll be fine.
So Jolene's going to be up first. Jolene, welcome to the show. And do I have to unmute you or you do it yourself? You're unmuted.
Hi. So a simple question for both of you, actually. Can you please steelman each other's arguments and evidence?
Okay. So if I was to steelman what Bro Sanchez has said today, I would say that Bro Sanchez has attempted to disprove the moon landings by saying the technology couldn't possibly work under the conditions of vacuum space.
Fair enough.
Did you think that's an accurate representation of what you said today, bro?
That's a general, I can go with that.
Okay, so how would you steelman my argument?
I would say that your argument was basically you're attempting to prove the globe by proving its motion based upon Foucault pendulum's experiment. And that's it. That's it. Simple. Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty good. Jolene, do you like those answers?
I do. Thank you very much. Have a great night. And Craig, please feel better. You have been a saint tonight. It's weird. I know.
My wife, I've got to stay calm today. She don't want to take me to the hospital again.
All right. She left. All right. Let's go with Alan. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. He'll be coming on here. Alan. And connecting audio. I think if I let everybody, I can let everybody in, and then I'm going to.
Can you gentlemen hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Okay, excellent.
What's up,
Thank
Alan?
you.
Oh, he went away then.
Oh, all right.
Still there?
Oh, he's there. Go ahead, Alan.
So my question is for you, Mr. Sanchez. It's quite a simple and famous question. What, if anything, would ever change your mind?
Okay, as far as flat Earth?
Yes, sir.
Honestly, now y'all might laugh at me on this one, and I'm not trying to lead you on no long run, but if I can actually go, if they can put me on a rocket, and personally, because think about this, right? And not to be long-winded, the most definitive proof of a globe earth, because we know we can never prove it on the ground visually. Think in a court of law, visual evidence, it just cuts a long way. So I think, me personally, if I can get far away from the earth like they claim to have done and look back at it, that'll be I think firsthand, my eyes saw it. No one will be able to argue me, but I saw the globe. Nope, I don't want to hear it. It wouldn't be nothing you could say. My eyes saw it, But that's just for me. I like visual evidence.
Is this your standard of evidence for everything?
No, that's just, you asked me what would be the nail in the coffin for me. If you ask me another question on what would be my evidence for this or that, I'll give you a different answer than that one. Ask me, try me with something other than the globe.
Okay, the famous one, have you ever seen the Mariana Trench?
Never seen the Marianas Trench.
Does it exist?
I believe it does, based on what I've seen on maps and what others seen. Just like I know, for example, right, and I'm up to your point, right, I know, for example, Egypt exists. I know those pyramids are on Giza right now. But if somebody say you didn't see them, so you don't have firsthand observation, and it is not really a fact to you, and you can go there and they might not exist. You could, but we know that ain't true. But it's just the fact that until you do it, like we know the scientific method. If you do the scientific method, I can't show up and say, well, I believe what he did. I got to do my own experiment. So all I'm really saying is firsthand observation is what I prefer, but I will take secondhand observation. Third hand, I'm kind of like, but yeah, to your point.
Anything else, Alan?
I'm still amazed by that incredibly intelligent answer, so I will relinquish the rest of my time. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you. And then we've got All Man, Deli Man. You are unmuted, or we're asking you to unmute, I think. And it's not letting me ask you to unmute. Let's go with Brenda. Why is it not letting me ask you to unmute? Hold on. Where's Brenda?
I can unmute.
Oh, there you go. You're good.
I'm not muted. So thank you. And so far, I have yet to see from any flat earther any real measurements of the earth being flat, of actual measurements that test for flatness and give us numbers that have been measured by a flat earther that show unequivocally that the earth is in fact flat. I would like at some time for any flat earther to produce this evidence, because otherwise all you're doing is critiquing the globe, which doesn't prove that the earth is flat.
You're supposed to be asking a question.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, okay.
What's the question? Is that the question to Brother Sanchez if he has measurement or something?
And to the callers, y'all can ask me or Craig a question, you know what I'm saying? And
Brenda, did you have a question or no?
no, they don't.
Oh,
Brenda,
I thought I was unmuted. So the question is, when can we expect a measurement, a real world measurement from a flat earther demonstrating that the earth is in fact flat?
Specify what you mean, the measurements of the earth, like in the case of the globe model, this how wide it is, all of this stuff. Is that what can you specify a little bit more? Because how do we prove flat earth is just with water level. I mean, you don't really need measurements of my desk to prove that the surface of it is flat. So I don't really know what you asking me, but we can move on or whatever.
Okay, when they're done, do you want me to kick them out? Bro Sanchez, or-
You know what? Yeah, since there's so many people, then that probably.
I'll just move them to the waiting room. So Brenda's going to the waiting room. Next, we've got. Oops, I'll try one more time to the all-man deli man, whatever that is. He can come back. Oops. And we got to put this guy away. Where's him? Okay. All-man deli man, can you hear now? And Brenda, you are going away. No waiting room. Okay. All-man deli man, go ahead and unmute. There you go.
Mic check.
You're good. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is for Craig, is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That works with NASA. Before I ask my question, can I just say to Bro Sanchez, the highlight of the night is not what you said. The highlight of the night is when you said your liquids in your body is doing without will. At least the Crowley, man, I fell out, bro. I fell out. I was no more good. But my question is, the budget for NASA probably has increased by I don't know how much percent since the 1960s. So if the budget for NASA can make it to the space, why do they need so much money to just produce us a picture or a video? Because like you said, if you got so much evidence, but you only came with the Foucault pendulum. But you say I could bring pictures, I could bring videos, but it's not going to matter. Why not just bring a video or a picture of somebody working in space on the ISS? You know, because NASA has a very, very, very steep budget. So that's my question. Why do they need so much money if they can't even produce a video?
Okay, Craig. What did you end up on mute? Oh, there you go. Sorry. I have it turned off. People can't unmute themselves.
Thank you for the question, Orman. I appreciate it. So first off, NASA's budget hasn't increased. In fact, the percentage of NASA's budget for, against the entire federal budget is less than it was in the 60s. There is videos, there's countless videos, but I didn't want to just present a video from space because it's very easily just dismissed by people saying it's fake. I've got hundreds here on my thing right now that I could just click through and go through loads, but I didn't think just showing a picture or a video from NASA is a great bit of evidence to bring to a debate. Because at the end of the day, stuff can be faked, right? I'm not going to deny that, CGI technology exists, right? Which makes it very easy to dismiss a video or something, because CGI technology is very good now, and it's hard to distinguish between what's real and what's not. And I don't like to just get into the argument of, oh, well, that could be fake, So when I do these debates, I don't tend to just come with pictures from NASA and stuff. I might use them as supplementary evidence, but I never use that as my main thing. Because I feel like it's too easily dismissed.
I wanted to interject with something, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I just think that you can't just, because NASA used the images as their number one thing to prove it to the world. The most of the people in the world believe in a globe through the images. So, I mean, for you to now do something, you can use whatever you want, but we can still say, well, why are certain inconsistencies with certain images? We can still question that part of it. I mean, a lot of folks are like doubting, because at the end of the day, it's like the most definitive proof of the globe, the most number one reason that the world believe in the globe is that blue marble picture, that space race. That's what we put our money into, rocket scientists, stuff like that. So I do think that plays a big role, like visual proof and all arguments a lot of times, especially in the
Yeah,
court
I
of
agree.
law.
I agree. Well, how about this, bro Sanchez? How about one of the debates that we have, we center specifically around our pictures from space and stuff, and we can have that as the main subject of a debate, and we can go through inconsistencies and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea, because if we're planning to do this regularly, then it might be a good idea to kind of have topics that we go through, and talking about the evidence that NASA and stuff gives us might be good for a topic.
Speaking of pictures from NASA, I would like to share some with everybody, not just you, Craig, but you can respond to it. Jeranism, everybody. Let me access the screen share one time. Speaking of pictures, and we done with the debate, right? Well, hey, we just whatever. We freestyling here now, but the debate is over, right? This is kind of the after. But so let me just share this real quick. Because Craig, if you're willing to have a debate in the future about photos, I'm definitely want to do that for you. But it's one in particular I want to share with you now, just to pick your brain real quick, and I'm not gonna harp on it or nothing. Hey, Jeran is you got the enable the screen share. There you go.
Okay, go ahead. And then Kevin, you're up next. You can go ahead and unmute. Kevin T.
For example, in this image right here, I screenshotted. You can see through NASA's equipment right there. We can see the stars through the equipment. That's, to me, is a result of chroma key. You gonna be willing to deal with stuff like this in the future? What would you say to something like that? Yeah.
I'd have to analyze the image. I wouldn't be able to give you an answer right now.
Well,
because it's not something I specifically seen. I would have to look at the image. I would have to look at the camera used. I would have to look at the frames before and after, and to give you a fair answer. I mean, I wouldn't just look at that and go, oh well, this is the reason, because I don't know. I would have to look into it.
Well, this was taken during a live stream, and look into it. Look into it. NASA was live streaming. And I was like, yo, you can see right through their equipment while they streaming. So I screenshotted it, and so I can keep it. Because I was like, wow, what kind of camera phenomenon would allow you to see through stuff? Then my light bulb came on. Chroma key. But we could keep it moving. I just want to show that. We'll talk about it.
Kevin, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, go ahead.
All right, cool. I got a question for you, globe earthers. So why is it that when planes fly, they fly particularly from east to west, right? And if the earth was a globe, if we were going, say for instance, flying all the way from America to, let's say, somewhere in like China or something like that, and the quickest way was to like go over the South Pole, why don't we go over the South Pole if it's a globe? Wouldn't it be like quicker to get there? You know what I'm saying? To like certain places,
And Jeran, you could turn off the screen share now. Thank you. I'm done.
I think I did. Okay.
So there's a few answers. A lot of the answers revolve around the fact that flights aren't direct and they have to go to certain places. There won't be, they might have to pick up people at different points around, so flying over the pole wouldn't be efficient. The other reasons is it's dangerous. The weather conditions can be a lot worse around there than other places. Another reason is if there is a problem, it's much harder to then go to an airport because it's very out of the way. But it doesn't mean that there isn't planes that that haven't flown over the South Pole. There's many planes that have done that journey. In fact, you can look at the One More Orbit team that did the North Pole to South Pole circumnavigation of the Earth and live stream the whole thing. But in general, for commercial flights, flying over the South Pole isn't something that would be beneficial in most circumstances and would impose too much danger to make it worthwhile.
Can I just ask you, Craig, have you seen that live stream from them? I looked for it. I could never find it.
I have it.
Whole thing, I could send it to you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, dropping in the chat, because I have never heard of a plane flying over the South Pole. You know, they go over like one part that you always see and they always talk about. And I've heard it's like two different ways you can get to see parts of the South Pole, and that's going through Australia and that's going through the southernmost part of South America, you know. And for the Earth being a globe, if the Earth is the globe, then why don't the water fall off? You know what I'm saying? So that's just one of the things I wanted to mention.
Well, water wouldn't fall off because there's nothing to fall off to. I mean, water, like matter, just sorry.
So how is that in the Earth is spinning? You know, on the globe, the Earth spins, right?
Yeah, very slowly. Yeah,
very slowly.
Are you saying the water should be flung off because the Earth is spinning? Is that your point?
Yes.
Right. So the Earth is rotating at 0.000694 RPM, which at the equator creates a centrifugal force of 0.3 meters per second squared, which is, you compare that 0.3 meters per second squared to the downward acceleration caused by gravity of 9.8 meters per second squared. It shows that there's nowhere near enough force being created by the centrifugal acceleration to throw the water off compared to the force created by gravity pushing in the other direction. However, what you do find is you weigh less at the equator than you do at the poles because of that extra centrifugal acceleration at the equator and the fact that the poles are slightly squished, meaning you're slightly closer to the center of Earth. But the answer is the Earth is not spinning fast enough to throw the water off compared to the forces that are pulling it down.
The answer was cap.
Cap in what way? That's physics.
All right, thanks. I think he
made up.
Let's go.
Continue.
Are you still here? Oh, Kevin. All right, I'm going to move on. Let's go to Lord Byron. You are going to be next. Go ahead and unmute.
Hey, I'm here. Sorry about that. Can I be heard?
Who's this? Lord Byron?
Yeah, this is Lord Byron.
We got you. We hear you.
Okay. What's going on? So I have a two-part question for Craig, and it's very short, but I just want to make sure I'm asking the right question. So I'm going to ask one question first.
Sure. Yeah,
okay. So concerning the moon landing, Craig, if I'm correct, when they launch into space and they get to space, they no longer using fuel to propel themselves to the moon, if I'm correct, right? That's what I've always been told, that they don't, once they get past the atmosphere and then they use that because there's no resistance in space, supposedly, that they don't have to use any propulsion to get there once they get going. It's like pushing the ball down a hill and it just keeps going.
Yeah, so like Newton's laws of motion, say that if something's moving, then there needs to be a force to stop it moving. So once they've gone out of Earth and they're heading towards the moon, as long as they're moving, they don't need to use any extra fuel to keep moving. What then happens is that they start using fuel again when they need to enter orbit around the moon and control their trajectory. But in general, once you're at that point of just you're pointed in the right direction and you're going, you don't need to use any extra fuel.
Okay, great. That's what I just wanted to make sure I had that correct. So with the new model of the solar system, not the old model where everything's revolving around the sun and you can kind of like predict where the moon and the planets are going to be. The new model is everything is also on a forward motion, correct? So my question is, how does the new model of the solar system, I can't pull it up. I don't know. I've seen it. I'm sure you can find it. Lord Sanchez knows where to find it. He's pulled it up plenty of time where the sun is, we're traveling through the solar system. We're rotating around the sun and the sun is also moving through the solar system also. So it's like,
sorry, you mean the solar system is moving through the galaxy?
Okay, I'm sorry. The solar system is moving through the galaxy. My bad.
Right,
so
okay.
if they're on a forward motion or even a spiral motion, how does the shuttle then not chasing the moon? Do you get what I'm saying? How is the shuttle not chasing the moon if it's not using any propulsion once it gets there? It would seem like it would be true. Like once we launch from Earth, okay, and we leave Earth's orbit and you stop using propulsion, but everything is still moving through the solar system. So is the shuttle catch up to the moon without using propulsion?
Right.
Does the moon's gravity extend out to the shuttle and grab it from that far away and bring it with it? And it's chasing it. It's like when they fuel a jet tanker mid in flight, and they have to catch up to it to fuel it. So I'm wondering, how does the shuttle actually catch up to the moon if we're all spiraling through the solar system? And I could be ignorant. Maybe I sound ignorant for asking the question, but I'm really curious how it catches up to the moon if we're all moving through the solar system.
Okay, so one thing that's really important here to understand is that all motion is relative, okay? If you consider our solar system as a whole, that entire thing is moving around the galaxy, okay? And that's what I think you mean by this, forward motion, right? But all that motion is happening together. Everything in the solar system, the Earth, the moon, the sun, the planets, the asteroids, everything, it's all moving together, right? So when the rocket leaves the Earth, it still has momentum of traveling through the galaxy. It doesn't just lose that. So because the moon and the Earth are part of the solar system and they all have that motion together, the rocket isn't just going to lose that motion. It still keeps that motion that it had when it was on the Earth. It's called the conservation of momentum. So then all you've got to do is relatively point towards the moon, and you can consider the Earth as a rest frame, as a stationary thing, and the moon as the thing you're pointing to, because it's all moving together.
Yeah, I get that completely. I 100% understand that. So what you're saying is that the shuttle is not moving independently of everything else. It's also in sync with everything else that's moving through the solar system.
Yeah. It's like if you, if you were on a trampoline that was being pulled by a car, right? You could bounce up and down on that trampoline, and for you're just bouncing up and down. But if you were to view it from the side, it would look like the person was doing, leaps towards the car, chasing the car. It would look like the person on the trampoline was chasing the car that was pulling the trampoline. But from the trampoline's perspective and the person on the trampoline, they're just bouncing up and down, because all motion is relative. So when that person leaves the trampoline, they've got the motion that they were being pulled forward by. So they don't lose that just because they've left the trampoline. They keep that motion forward. And it's the same with the rocket and Earth. It's got that motion of the galaxy. So when the rocket leaves the Earth, it maintains that motion. There's no reason why it would leave it.
Okay, so let me just so I understand you correctly, and then I'll yield. Okay, I'm so sorry. So you have a pickup truck, and you have a trampoline behind the pickup truck, towing the trampoline. And now you're telling me if you're accelerating this pickup truck with the trampoline behind it, if I'm jumping on the trampoline, I'm going to stay on the trampoline, and I'm not going. The pickup truck's not going to pull the trampoline from up under me. Is that what I'm picturing?
Yeah. Let me get. Oh, maybe I don't have the video available.
Is that what I'm picking? Is that? I'm not serious. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm saying, is that what you're proposing? That if I jump on a trampoline being towed by a pickup truck, that I will stay in sync with the trampoline and the trampoline won't get yanked from up under me?
No, let me get the video and show you.
I need to see this, please, and then I'm done. Thank you all.
Okay, up next we have Jay Kane, who says I'm picking shitty people with questions, so he's up next for saying that.
Right, let me just quickly do this. Jeran, give me 1 sec. Sorry.
Yep. I know. As far as I'm here next, then. Okay. And I did turn on screen share.
Yeah, I don't need to turn on screen share. I'll just do it through my camera.
Okay, cool.
So if you look at my screen right now, you can see that this trampoline is being pulled by this tractor, all right? But when that person bounces from the trampoline, it doesn't just disappear underneath them. They're traveling with the trampoline, because the person, they have the momentum that the trampoline has. And Newton's laws say that there's no reason why he should lose that momentum. So as he bounces on that trampoline, from his perspective, he's just going up and down. But if you were standing at the side of the road watching it, and tracking his trajectory, it would look like he was doing, leaps in a row, but he's not. He's just conserving his momentum. And it's exactly the same thing that happens with a rocket traveling to the moon, leaving Earth.
Okay. Let's go with Jane up next. Who is that? Lord Byron, right?
That was Lord Byron, yeah.
Okay. Let me just move him to the waiting room. And then we've got, where's Jane?
Yo. Yep.
There you go, Jane.
All
Oops.
right, there you go. Yeah, well, what you have to remember, though, in space, there's no air, right? No. This is just an example of the conservation of momentum, which is, a very basic physics premise. Now, if that person in this scenario just kept floating, right, they would probably get pushed back because there's air, right? But what you got to remember is in space, there's no air. The air would create a force to push them in the other direction, which follows Newton's laws. You need an equal and opposite force. But in space, there's nothing to create that force. So once they've got that momentum from the Earth, or in this case, the trampoline, they're never going to lose it unless there's something that pushes them in the opposite direction.
Yep. Go ahead, Jane. Jane, go ahead. Jay Kane, sorry. You're unmuted. You should be good to go. Okay, we're going to move past him. Let's go with Awakening Minds. Go ahead. Join.
Hey, what's up, my brother?
How's it
Hey,
going?
much respect to you, Jeranism.
Hey,
Appreciate you doing this, and much respect to bro, definitely appreciate you. Appreciate you as well, FTE. But I just got a quick question, man, before we get too far into it. I've been researching what gravity is, and I just want to know, can space exist without gravity? I just want to know your answer, FTE. And I got another question right after that. But once again, can space exist without gravity?
It's an ill-formed question. Gravity is an interaction between masses, whereas space isn't mass. It's not really a question that can have an answer. Space exists and gravity exists. Gravity can cause space to warp, so I guess they are connected, but it's not really a question that can be answered in the way that you've asked it.
Any follow-up?
Is he still there?
I don't know. Okay, Jane, try again. No, I didn't shadow ban you. Guys, on another one here. You are unmuted.
To unmute yourself, J. Kane.
It doesn't show that he is muted, so I think he's unmuted. His microphone's open. In the lower left-hand corner, it says mute. And if you click that little up caret, you should see a list of your microphones, and then make sure you have the right one selected. I'll go to somebody else. King Kiwi, go ahead and ask your question. Cancel that. Ask to unmute. King Kiwi. There we go.
Yeah, sure.
So go ahead, Kiwi.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
So, hey, everybody. Salute.
Greetings.
I'm awesome, brother. I got a quick question about the compass and how it works on a flat versus how it will work on a round. So my question is, up, does up explain north, and does down explain south?
No, north isn't up and down isn't south. A compass works by following lines of a magnetic field. And if you were to look at the magnetic field of Earth, you could imagine it as two spheres gripping Earth either side. You know, so this is Earth there, and my fingers are the magnetic field that flow from the north down to the south. But that's not up and down. That's just north and south. Up and down on Earth is either away for up or towards the Earth for down. So compasses don't help you determine up and down. Compasses just point in the direction that follows the flow of a magnetic field.
Okay, so the question that I asked, it would be leaning more towards it being a flat plane that we're on. Because of that law, because of that fact.
How would you determine that?
You just explained it. We will not be able to live on a globe by that fact that you just proved right there.
Please explain that. I mean, it works really quite well on a.
Up doesn't explain north.
No,
by
it doesn't.
A plane taking off, going upwards, it's not saying we're going north. It's saying we're going straight while moving upwards. So
sorry,
on a globe, when we take off, we would be headed north. But since we're not on a globe, when we take off, we're only going up, headed north, east, south, or west.
But up isn't north. Even if the Earth is flat, up isn't north. You know
exactly. You just proved our point with being on a flat plane. This is
I showed you on a globe with the lines of magnetic field. How would that be a flat plane? I literally used a globe to demonstrate it.
Because the compass doesn't give you that opportunity on a globe. When
of
you
course,
say
it follows
north,
the lines of the magnetic field. And the magnetic field flows towards the north, so that's the way the compass is going to follow. Whichever way, wherever you are on Earth, the magnetic field flows towards the North Pole, and that makes the alignment of the compass point towards Earth, point towards the North Pole, or the magnetic North Pole anyway.
Exactly. You're proving the point of we're being on a flat plane, because the compass does not, listen, the compass doesn't allow you to live on a globe, because it only goes forward. When you go forward, you're going north. North is forward. Up is up.
North is forward. What do you mean north is? Yeah, no one's ever said north. No one's ever said that north is up and south is down. That's not a globe claim.
That would be the example on a globe.
No, no, because up isn't towards the north on the globe.
No,
Up
because
is way here.
that would be on a globe. So you're giving us our kudos on saying what you're saying. You're telling us we're on a flat plane.
Again, even on a globe, north isn't up and south isn't down. On a globe,
it would have to be if we live on a globe.
Please wait. Listen, up on a globe is away from the center. Down on a globe is towards the center. North and south have nothing to do with up and down.
Yes, it has everything to do with it on a flat plane
it has nothing.
versus a globe. Because you're telling us that on a globe.
Let's move on, or we're never gonna get done.
Oh.
Who was Jane? Go ahead. I'm going to ask you to Jay Kane. I asked you to unmute again. Kiwi, you are headed over here, and then and Awakening Minds will be next. Jay Kane, something's wrong with your system. They wanted to come back. They said something wasn't. I'm asking them to mute right now. But Jay Kane, yeah, there's no. We see your little mic. It's open, but there's no color in it.
And I just hit him.
Go ahead, Awakening.
What?
We hear you. Go ahead. Awakening. Well, I'm asking to unmute. There you go. You're on right now. Don't press the button again. If you mute yourself again, I have to wait for me. All right, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I can hear it now. It wasn't allowing me to unmute, my brother, but it's all good. I appreciate the stream. I had asked FDE about gravity. He never really answered the question. You know, I asked him, can space exist without gravity, or can space, why is gravity involved in space? And in our reality, it's a theory. You know, from all my research that I've done, space cannot exist without gravity, but yet it's a theory in our reality. I don't need equations. I don't need E equal MC square. That's E equal MC C binary or C self. I need to know if gravity is the main point of space, why is it a theory in reality?
Okay, it's not a theory in the same way that the colloquial usage of a theory is done. In science, a scientific theory is just something that encompasses all the knowledge we have of that subject. For instance, there is the theory of music. That doesn't mean that music is just a theory. Music theory simply encompasses all of our knowledge of music, intonation, tones, octaves, chords, notes, the way they interact. That's what music theory is. The same way that the theory of gravity is just all of our knowledge about gravity, all of the experiments, all of the empirical measurements. It's not a theory in the same way that I have an idea. That's the colloquial usage. There is a scientific term, a scientific theory, which in science is the highest accolade you can give to something. That means that we've created a theory of this thing. We understand it really, really well. We can do all these things with it. Gravity is something that appears to create a force between masses that's proportional to the product of two or more masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. And this is something that we can empirically verify that exists in reality with actual measurements. So my suggestion to you would be to actually look at the difference between what a theory and a scientific theory is. And that should hopefully answer your question. Yeah, we could save that for our debate about NASA. I think that'd probably be a good idea.
All right, thanks, Awakening.
How about next time we do this, bro? Either next week or whenever else after. It's specifically about stuff from NASA. We can just get deep into that. All right.
All right, J. Kane, are you there? Because you're saying things like we're muting you or we're censoring you, which we're not. Actually, I don't see you in the list anymore. Do you see J. Kane? I don't see him. All right, you got what was the L person? Where's the next person? Freezy baby. Go ahead.
All right, for sure. All right, yeah, I got a question for Craig or Fight the Flat Earth regarding just the shape and the nature of our Earth.
Go ahead.
Something that I really feel needs to be addressed because so you believe that the Earth is a globe, correct? Which
I believe I base my position on logic and evidence that says it's a globe.
You know that it's a ball. So basically it's a ball, right? And we see that everywhere. We see NASA, every space agency giving us a ball image. But my question is just like, what do you say to Neil deGrasse Tyson who says it's a pear shape? Is he just trolling? Is he just being stupid like how he usually is? Like, I don't understand that shit.
All right. So what Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying was not that the Earth looks like a pear, but like a pear, it is slightly wider at the bottom than it is at the top. The Earth is a nearly perfect sphere, but it's an oblate spheroid. The oblateness, the difference is 42 miles difference in the polar circumference to the equatorial circumference. So if you were to measure the circumference around the equator, it'd be 42 miles more than the circumference around the poles. Plus, at the bottom of the Earth, it is slightly wider, but it's so slightly wider that it's pretty much impossible to see with the naked eye. That's why whenever we see images of the Earth, we see it as what appears to be a perfect sphere, because it is a nearly perfect sphere. But I could draw you a circle in any kind of thing that would look exactly like a circle, but would be slightly off, and you would never be able to tell that it was slightly off because it was so slightly off. So when Neil deGrasse Tyson said the Earth is like a pear, he wasn't saying that it looks like a pear. He was saying that, like a pear, it is slightly wider at the bottom. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next we'll go with Christian Miranda. I'm asking you to unmute. Go ahead and hit yes. Craig, I have these NASA hats for sale at my site, shop.jeranism.com. You should get one.
I get NASA hats for free. You know
that. Christian, are you there? Christian, ask.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We hear somebody.
Hey, Jeranism, I'll do you a deal. I will go buy one of your hats. Go and buy one of my tops.
Jeez. Can I write on it after?
Yeah, if I can write on yours.
Maybe I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, then deal.
Right, deal. I'll buy one. Who's not? Christian, are you there? I'm asking them.
Yes, I'm here. I got a question for Bro Sanchez. Last time he said that he wanted to learn, right? And my question is, why, if he wants to learn, he bans people from his channel when they're trying to show him the proof he's asking for? You see, that's exactly what I mean.
Who is that? Who is it though? Can't find.
I'm just trying to ask a question. Why does he? No, but that shows how disingenuous.
Hold on a second. I can't find who it is.
You say you want to learn, but when somebody wants to show you the proof, you just go ahead and ban them.
I don't see anybody.
I appreciate you coming in for the person. If you ask him questions about flat and globe rather than, complaints about who's banned from the channel and stuff. The fact is, it's his channel and he has the right to ban whoever he wants. I understand.
Okay. Did you? Okay, I'll ask you a question then. I'll ask you a question related to the topic then.
Good.
So, did you watch that video where it shows like from take off in the rocket all the way to when they get to the ISS and they do the docking from outside? Did you watch the video? Because it only took me like 5 seconds to find it in YouTube.
Okay.
That's the question. Did you watch the video?
Are you asking Brother Sanchez?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Brother Sanchez. He wants to know
I can't unmute.
Oh,
Is Brother Sanchez muted?
he's muted now. Hold on. You give me too much work here. Where are you? Why doesn't it list them in order or something? Where is Brother Sanchez? There you are. Ask him. All right, good.
Or they can just get producers for you.
Yeah, because we did it this way so it can be not all a cluster.
Otherwise, we'd have everybody talking.
Yeah, it'll be crazy. So, but what I would tell all the callers is we do want to keep it about me and Craig's debate today and the flat earth versus the globe earth. If I blocked you in the past, I'm sorry. You don't stay blocked forever, apparently. If you make another account, you can come back. You'll be given a second chance, and I'll block that account. Eventually, you'll strike out. But yeah, I do gotta have some sort of order here. But yeah, just to your question, I just didn't want to make it about block. That's, we don't want to throw the energy off. It was a good debate, so let's move forward.
Have you seen the video he's talking about there, Bruce Sanchez? About
no, and I have not seen whatever video he's referencing, but you know what? We will allow you to drop a link if it's not over, 5 minutes, I guess. We can.
Okay, we got Eric. Do you want to go next? Go ahead, Eric. You are going to be asked to unmute. Go ahead. Perfect. Eric, Eric gets points.
Capitalized Eric or not capital Eric?
The one that's talking. You are correct.
Okay, right on. Well, first of all, Craig, I'm a very big fan. You're one of the reasons that I'm currently in college studying to be a physics teacher.
Thank you a lot.
Yeah, but so I have a couple questions for Bro Sanchez. First off, let me pull up my notes because I put them in my notes because I knew I'd forget. So I didn't catch the whole debate. When I joined, you were talking about stuff in the, liquids in space, right? And I'm just wondering, what is it that you do to try to actually come to an answer when you ask questions like that? Like, do you Google it?
Okay,
how do you filter the information that you find, right?
I got you. I exercise. So I got you. The root word of one of the foundations of methodology is observation. That's one of the building blocks of the scientific method. So I think also exercising critical thinking. So I make observations and just ask questions. I don't claim to have the answers. I ask. You notice my approach was asking questions. I was saying, hey, what I observe is if what's stopping the liquids inside of his body from behaving like the water we see him, playing with. And Craig answered me. He said nothing, and the liquids in his body is doing that. And because of that, astronauts can't shit right. They can't burp right. They can't pee right. They just got a lot of health problems going on. And I was like, well, man, he looked like he's having fun to me. At that point, observation, just having a conversation. I think that's lack today. I think we don't have a lot of observative-based mindsets and critical thinking in a world against free thought, but that's just me personally. I still try to maintain it, though. But thanks for the question. You got another one?
One more, Eric.
I guess kind of related to that. Well, I guess I would just have an explanation. So, no, not really. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you. Who else? Ear horror?
Sorry. What'd you call me?
Thought I was a dummy. He thought he was gonna get me or something. But yeah, I would. You know what? I think I need to bring a medical person on the next one.
Bro Sanchez talking over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think what you think about this, Craig? Wouldn't this be a good bill to say, can a human body survive? If that were to happen to our liquids inside, maybe we can get some doctors or some medical people on. Because I'm saying that, we can move forward. We could do that, in the future.
Okay. It's L. Rohrer.
Oh, sorry. L. Rohrer.
Yeah, Les. You just call me Les. Okay.
I like the way the Jeranism said it.
Or that incredibly ugly, incredibly old fart, if you want. That's fine. Whatever.
We would never.
Oh, please do. I don't mind. I don't care. Craig, how are you doing? Are you doing well? Okay.
Better than I was a few days ago, thank you.
Well, I hear that. I've had a couple of heart attacks myself, but, what can I say? Nonetheless, you're wrong. No, Craig, I believe very much as a scientist and a professional engineer. I believe very much in owning up to our mistakes. In your case, you made a couple of itty bitty ones. Okay. And I just like
if I'm wrong, I like to learn.
The fluids in the body are not under high pressure. A really, really high blood pressure is 160 millimeters of mercury. That's getting pretty dangerous at that point. And the systolic of 160, if you reached anywhere near that on your diastolic, you'd be dead. But the bottom line is it's about a fifth of an atmosphere, which is, about, what is it, 3-4 feet of water?
Yeah,
it's
not
really high.
System, though, right? That's the.
It is a pressure. Yeah, it is a pressurized system, and there's no way that the fluids in a contained pressurized system like a vein are going to go globular. They can't. They're contained by the walls. It's that simple, bro, Sanchez. It's that simple. They're contained by a wall.
Say that again. I was typing in the chat, man. I apologize.
Okay.
I apologize.
All right, no worries. Yeah. In a contained system, okay, like a vein or an artery, okay, those are basically pipes. They're kind of very flexible, very soft pipes, but they're pipes, okay, and they contain fluid. They don't contain any air, okay, or at least not very much, we hope. So there's no way any fluid in a pipe can go globular. It fills up the pipe, so it's not going to turn into a globe like you see there on this, wherever it is the International Space Station or wherever. It's not going to fall down because there's no relative acceleration compared to the rest of the inside of the air of the craft there. It's just going to sit where it is, and because of the van der Waals forces, they cause any fluid to tend to form a sphere, or at least
what about the gas? What about his inner gases then?
He doesn't have any inner gases. There are no inner gases. All of the gases are external to him. There are some gases, of course, in his stomach.
Let me ask.
The stomach is open to the air.
So, because when you said he don't have no inner gases, and Craig said that he can't burp, I would think he would be full of inner gases.
No. Okay, that's not inside him. That's in his stomach is exposed to the air. There's a hole that goes up through the esophagus out to the air. Okay, so you could try this yourself. Hang upside down sometime. Just go hang upside down. Not for a long time, just for a few minutes. Hang upside down. Now, can you poop? Yeah, you can. Not easily, but you can do it.
Astronauts can't, according to Craig.
No. They're not constipated in the normal way that you think of being
So
constipated.
can I ask you one question then?
Sure,
Check this out. Because now, if Craig would have made your argument, and I'm not saying you're right because I want to spar with you, but you're saying he failed to answer that right, that would give me the W in the debate, in my opinion.
No.
You giving him an L.
No.
I'm just hold on, wait. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. If we take his answer as it stand, it's totally opposite of what you saying. Cause he's I'm finna show you why. Let me just say this now. If the liquids in his body is in lava lamp mode, like what Craig was saying, why even wear a spacesuit? They used to tell us this was what will happen to you if you take your space. That's what I'm saying. My thing is like, what's keeping? Nah. This is crazy. If you saying he didn't answer that right, if you saying that Craig failed and he said that they full of poop and full of gas and they got all these health problems, you telling him?
I didn't say that. I did not say that. Craig did not say that.
Craig said that.
No,
he
didn't.
We can rewind it. He said they can't poop, they constipated.
Stop.
They can't burp in space. Did he not say they can't burp in space?
Stop.
Did he not say that?
Stop.
Yeah,
so just stop. So your answer is just stop.
No.
When I ask the question.
No, you're not.
We heard him. It's on the tape. We could just rewind it.
No, you're not asking a genuine question, or else.
And you know what, man? What's a genuine question? What's it? What that sounds crazy, man. You all
A genuine
you sound
question
crazy,
means
man.
a
We're
genuine
not gonna
question-
talk about genuine questions and non-genuine questions. You're gonna just answer all questions or leave. It's Q&A.
I'm answering.
It's Q&A, man. It's Q&A, and I don't got all night.
Final word. Final words.
I can't answer a question if you continually shout over me. You obviously
I
are
asked a
not
simple
actually wanting.
question.
No, you didn't ask a simple question. You asked a malformed question, and you
Hey,
accused
Jerry,
Craig and I.
go ahead and let's go to the next caller, man. At this point,
Listen.
it's still my show. Go to
It
the
is your
next
show.
caller. This is not a debate with me and you. It's between me and Craig. You're a caller and you're out of damn line.
Okay,
Like
Emily,
I
go
said,
ahead.
I asked you a
Emily.
question, you didn't answer it. Holla at you. You're getting too comfortable.
Vernon. Try and unmute you again. There you go.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Hello.
So, a side note on taking craps in space. Fun fact: before the Apollo capsules, they had a diaper per person for up to 2 weeks. One diaper.
Yeah.
But I have 2 questions. One's for Bro Sanchez. What is the benefit of the conspiracy? Like, who benefits? Like, we've known the Earth has been thought to be round since the 5th century BCE, long before NASA, long before any settlers came to the U.S. Who benefits?
Who benefits from flat earth? The people in power does. And it's so much to go into the why. The why is the fact that when the religious leaders set up, we know that the early governments that you talking about, when you said that in the 3000 BCE, they believed in the globe earth, they were geocentric. They believed it was at the center of the universe still. You're talking about the Copernican models, Ptolemaic models. Prior to that, everyone had flat earth models, right? So there was an evolution to the model you see today. When you go back in time to talk about a globe, that was a whole nother system than what you got today. I wouldn't do that if I was you, because they believed in a ball earth in the middle of the solar system, stationary with everything going around it. And that changes everything. Prior to that, it was flat. That's the original, most consistent model on Earth, and that's the one that we can prove without leaving the ground. The only way we can prove the globe is the way the church did, by wise men who were talking about ascending to the heavens in a lot of this artwork and stuff like that in mythologies. You had Eratosthenes saying he can prove that we're on a globe with his 2-stick experiment, is what I call it, with the shadows and stuff. But you can't use that today to prove today's model. If Eratosthenes thought that the Earth was in the middle of the solar system and the sun went around it, and he thought that he proved that with his sticks on the ground because the shadow was following that motion, the shadow based on the sun, you can't use that today.
He used that to measure the circumference of the Earth, not to demonstrate whether or not it's round or flat or anything like that.
But that's what he was trying to prove, that it was round and give us a diameter for it.
He was trying to find the circumference of the Earth.
Right. So what's the question? Like I said, did he not give us a measurement for the Earth? Yes or no?
He did, and it was pretty accurate.
That's all I wanted to know.
The circumference.
That's all. And I'm saying his experiment could not give him that is, you got to realize he had a geocentric model. That's what you're not accounting for. Do you believe that the Earth is in the middle of the solar system?
No.
Okay, then he did.
It's almost like scientific consensus with new information. Changes and updates.
That's my point. Consensus is not methodology. That's what I have. That's a religion. That's the point. That's the point.
And another question for both of you: is there any amount of evidence that would convince you otherwise to go to the other side?
Can I answer that one first? Is that
yes,
right?
Go ahead.
Empirical measurements. If you can present me measurements of the Earth's flatness and measurements of the Earth's stillness, then I would have to consider my position as wrong and reevaluate what I think. So for me, it's what I could demonstrate myself. I can measure the Earth's rotation. I can measure the Earth's curvature. If I can be presented with evidence that shows my measurements are wrong, I would have to consider the other position.
Yeah, okay, so there is just instruments that just cannot function on a globe that functions perfectly on a flat Earth. So so a periscope, right? Because a Navy periscopes come right off the surface of the water, and this thing can see. Oh, okay, I'm not going to be able to finish. So, right, the Navy periscope can zoom in on ships over hundreds of miles away. According to spherical geometry, they should be hidden behind a ball of water. Let's talk about a compass. We brought that up. Let's talk about a level. We brought that up. Sundial. We brought that up. Plumb bobs. Okay, a zodiac wheel couldn't even work on a globe. Now, but then here's the empirical evidence that I would need to prove a globe, because everything, and there's so much that proves a flat Earth from the ground. I'll throw that to y'all. From the ground. Even when we rise up, we can see the horizon still is eye level and flat. So a globalist is saying you're just not going high enough. That's why I said earlier, I think empirical evidence for anyone would be to see it for themselves, instead of a person saying, I saw the Sphinx, I saw the Sphinx. When you see it for yourself, you can't deny it anymore. And that's what I want, undeniable. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I was telling the other guy. You know what I'm saying? I want to see it for myself. I want to get farther away to where I can look back and see this blue marble image that we famously worship. That's all.
So if NASA were to send you to the moon, would you still try to find a way to explain why it's flat? Would you take it?
Oh, hell no. If NASA say we want to send you to the moon to prove it's a globe, I'll risk my life to do that, to go. I'll film it with all of my damn equipment, personal equipment.
Fair. I've heard flat earthers say that, oh, it's a moot point. Space doesn't exist. So that is a fair thing, I guess.
That's what I'll go find based upon my observations and methodology on the ground. I think we've debunked space. The only thing that would give me a change of mind, as you asked, was now the only thing could change your mind is to leave the ground and go.
All right, thanks so much.
Yep.
Craig, you can't go. Okay, we've got Ning. Go ahead and unmute Ning.
If all of their arguments is based upon that's not how space works or this is how space works, it's all about you don't want to understand the physics of this place if you never been there. That's like me trying to tell you the physics of water and you never been in the ocean. Like the only way you got to go to the ocean, man, you got to swim.
Ning, are you there? N-I-N-G. You are unmuted, but you're not doing anything. Sacred knowledge. You are unmuted, or you have to unmute yourself. I'll ask you again. I'm going to ask you again. There you go.
Hello.
You're good.
Sorry about that. How you doing?
Great.
Hello.
So,
good.
Question. I got a couple questions for Craig. Now, how is it that we send balloons up 120,000 feet, the limit, the highest you can go, and the horizon is at eye level? As you look, out ahead, straight ahead, it's at your eye level. That's indicative of a flat plane. If the Earth was a ball, the minute you started going up and ascending upward, the horizon would not only stay where it's at, but it would start to fall. It would start to fall, and you would see the ball start to form around you, and it'd get lower. And the ball would become more and more apparent as you go up, but that doesn't happen. You have a flat plane because the horizon is at your eye level. How do you explain that? And also, if there's any ballers listening, please go watch Eric Dubay, to the 200 proofs that the Earth is not a spinning ball, because there you're going to see that there's locations, thousands of them all over this place, all over the Earth plane, where you can see too far. You can see things out in the distance that you shouldn't be able to see according to to the mathematics that they give us. And there's too many of these places for you to not understand why we think that we know that it's flat. So Craig, how do you explain the horizon at eye level at 120,000 feet?
Well, it's not. You're wrong. The horizon is not at eye level. For instance, I am currently showing a picture taken from an aeroplane, eye level being denoted by the fact that the app shows you exactly what eye level is. And you can see that in this image, the moon is actually below your eye level, meaning the horizon is way further down. It is completely false that the horizon rises with you. It does not. The horizon drops the higher you get. You can even see the drop of the horizon without even having to travel that far up. So if we go up Mount Wilson in California, 5,600 feet, you can already see how far the horizon has dropped. You can even do it with about 70 feet and see that the horizon has dropped. There is no videos from balloons or weather balloons or anything that show the horizon at eye level. You're just simply wrong about that claim.
Well, we can you got to do the research on our side. You can't just look at that and say, oh, okay, that doesn't write it away because of the fact that it is at eye level. I've seen the footage myself. It's 120,000 feet, and but that's not NASA footage. That's, you know, private footage from us, the people.
Yeah, there is no footage anywhere that the horizon being at eye level at 100,000 feet. It's just not a thing.
I got a question about that image too, if you don't mind.
Which one?
The one you showing on your screen.
Yeah, the one I'm showing now, yeah.
Yeah, for every amount of curvature that you're accounting for on the y-axis, shouldn't we equally account for it on the x-axis? So for every degree by which the ship disappear on the y-axis, we should see the Earth bending also on the x-axis. Let me pull up a screen share just to show you.
Don't live on a cylinder, bro, Sanchez. The horizon is an equidistant circle around you, which means that it curves exactly the same in every direction.
That's my point. Let me screen share, Jeran. Let me show you something.
I'm saying. So if the horizon is an equidistant circle all around you, that means that it's going to be the same level all around you, not that it's going to curve like a cylinder. The higher you, the more that you can see that there is a curve. And the reason for that is if you imagine holding a hula hoop at your eye level, right? That's a circle that's around your head, right? But if you move that hula hoop down as though you're rising above the horizon, you will see from your point of view that it appears to curve, even though it's still a circle that is equidistant around you. Just because you're looking down at it, it appears to curve. So
okay, can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
My point is exactly that. It's an equidistant, I mean, it's equally distant all the way around. So why are we only accounting for curvature on the y-axis? That's my point. We never ask about why the ships don't follow the curve on the x-axis. You see the green line? We never, so that's why I said for every degree that the ship disappear on the y-axis, we should bend the x-axis on the side if we're gonna keep this equally distant globe. Because if we do that, we'll realize we're really shrinking the globe now. Don't that make perfect sense?
No, so
like, come on, man. You can't say it's equally distant, then make it a rolled up burrito or a fruit roll up. We got to maintain an equal curvature on each side like I'm trying to do. But you won't do that though. But okay.
The fact that it is equidistant, means that it won't appear to be curved when you're at the level of it. It will, it's a circle. The horizon is an intersection of the sphere, right? It's a circle. It's a 2D circle on the 3D sphere. Okay, so from every point of view, if you were standing forward and you turned 360 degrees around you, it's going to look flat because it's the same distance around you at every point. What you are showing on that diagram there would suggest that the Earth is a cylinder, which it is not. It is a sphere, which means that there will be an equidistant circle which would appear flat.
That is my point, because if if the Earth was an equidistant circle, you can't say that we can see the curvature on the y-axis, and we can know that when the ship disappears over the curve on the y-axis, but we don't see the same equally phenomena happen on a z-axis, but we still saying it's an equally distant circle. You're proving my point. I'm saying if it were an equally distant circle, we would notice this phenomena inequality on the x-axis, but it's an inequality circle according to your observation. That's my point. You're turning the globe into a burrito, not me. You making it a Swiss cake roll, not me.
You're doing it, Sanchez. What you're doing is you are saying that it should be a cylinder, but on a sphere, that is not what you would see. If you were on a sphere, the horizon around you when you're at sea level would appear flat 360 degrees around you, because it is equidistant, because it is the same distance. The horizon is the same distance from you at every point. Therefore, it will look flat 360 degrees around you. All right. Stand in the middle of a circle. That's what you're going to see. A flat thing all the way around you.
I don't think he get my point, y'all. My point is, if the ship, wait a minute, wait. I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk. My point is, if the ship vanishes if I have two ships take off, y'all, at the same time, but one is going to the x-axis and one is going at the y-axis, same speed. Shouldn't at the same time at the ship on the y-axis vanishes from me, the ship at the x-axis should vanish from me. That's what we observe on a flat Earth, an extended plane. Now, he said it's gonna appear flat, but it's not really flat. This is why the ship vanishes. But the real reason why the ship vanished is because of vanishing point right here. If you pull out binoculars, you can zoom in on that ship and it didn't go over a curve. Otherwise, it'll be hidden by, you won't be able to see the ship. It'll be a ball of water obstructing you from seeing it. This is how images reflect on a flat surface. These salt flats go for hundreds of miles. We know how if you reflect something. So my thing is, we know how images reflect on a curved surface. You can't get a mirror inverted image phenomena like this. Water proves a flat Earth. So my point is, if we're gonna say that it appears that way because the globe is big, it's so huge that it appears flat from all the sides, then if it's that big, we shouldn't be noticing the ship vanish. We shouldn't be noticing the ship vanish without that's vanishing point, not curvature. That's what I'm saying. The ship wouldn't vanish at a point to us based on perspective. You're dealing with spherical geometry.
I'm aware. I'm gonna have to model it out for you because I'm quite surprised you can't visualize it.
I'm surprised that you're gonna say equally distant, but won't account for that phenomena happening on both axes equally.
Equidistant wouldn't happen like it does the opposite of what you are claiming. That's the thing. I think you really need to model it out yourself. I think you need to get some kind of 3D software, do a sphere and put a circle on it and see what happens. You need to do it for yourself so that you get over this confusion of basic shapes.
If you say so.
Shouldn't there be another person coming in to talk?
Yep.
Do it yourself. Go to space yourself. Go to the moon yourself.
9 Inch Nails guy, NING. You're unmuted. Are you there? Okay, we're gonna boot you because you're not working out. Let's go with Julius Notage. I just asked you to unmute. Julius. Orange Julius. There you go.
How you doing, guys? I want to ask a question of the gentleman who was talking about our body being a closed system and the astronauts in space. You said that the body is a closed system, but then you also say that, okay, so I just want to repeat what you're saying. I want to make sure I heard the right thing. You said the body is a closed system and it doesn't have the same effects because the body is a closed system in space, but yet you're also saying that they can't digest food and their body doesn't work the same way. Which one is it? Is it a closed system and it has no effects in the body? Or you're saying that the body is acting differently in space because you can't burp or fart? Which one is it? Is it a closed system where it doesn't affect the body, or is it a system where it is affecting the body? Which one is it?
And what's the proof of the body changes its mechanism when it gets into space?
One at a time, please. Thank you.
The
One at
same
a time.
question.
No, one person at a time, please. Thank you.
I think they're on the same account.
We're on the same call.
Okay, all right. One question at a time. Thank you. So, yeah, your cardiovascular system that carries your blood is an enclosed system. Your stomach is not. There are two different things.
So you're saying that going in space only affects your digestive system, but it does not. But it does not affect your cardiovascular system. That's what you're telling me.
Your cardiovascular system is a pressurized system controlled by a pump, your heart. So it's not going. There's not going to be globs forming. There is a constant pressurized system that's moving around. Your stomach, it's open to you've just got your esophagus and it's open to the air. So it's not a big pressurized system. The fluids in your stomach, they don't all sit down at the bottom like they would on Earth. Makes it very hard to go to the toilet and makes it very hard, practically impossible to burp. But your cardiovascular and your digestive system are two very different things.
Man, that hurt me.
Okay, can you explain that? Can you explain that? Because they're all connected. So if you could explain to us how they're not connected, that would be helpful.
Yeah, your cardiovascular system is not connected to your stomach. I don't know who told you that.
I asked, could you explain? Because my knowledge is that it is 100% connected. So if you could explain, teach me.
Well, okay, I'm teaching you. Your knowledge is wrong. Your cardiovascular system is not part of your stomach.
So you're not going to
because he say so. Yeah, just because he say so.
Yeah, because she's a nurse. She's a nurse. So she's a nurse. I understand you work at NASA.
Nurse, and she thinks your cardiovascular system is connected to your stomach.
She's a nurse. So I want you to explain to us how these systems are intercepted, because these things are connected. They're in the same body. So please tell me how they're not connected.
Nurse, and you think that your cardiovascular system or your veins and your blood and everything.
No, Craig. I specifically
maybe you
asked
shouldn't
you
be a
to
nurse.
explain. No, I specifically asked you to explain. Listen, everybody else on the panel agrees that everything in the body functions together. It is one. It is one. You're the only
the
person
sister
saying
is
that.
right. Everything is connected. That's simple.
Exactly. So you're the only one saying that somehow the body comes apart, like it turns into operation or some shit. Something like you're telling me that the body completely just gets to disconnected from its one body when it goes into space. Yeah. So I asked you to explain.
Not digestive system. They are
listen.
Under pressure, the other is not.
That's not what? All right, so y'all heard it for yourself. He will not explain how the body.
I'm sorry, Jeranism, did I not just explain? Your cardiovascular system.
You yelling at me does not explain it.
Stop talking and listen, right? That'd be great. Okay. I'm going to explain it to you once more. Please pay attention. Your cardiovascular system is under pressure. Your digestive system is not. They are different things.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The body is one. Listen,
right. The body is one. That's crazy.
Thank you, bro. Listen, the body's not going to function without the head. The stomach is not going to function without the heart.
I'm sorry.
Where you getting this from, man?
So good, but you're a fucking idiot.
Nobody never insulted you though. But
come on. That's right.
I'm sorry, but if she's claiming she's a nurse and doesn't understand that the cardiovascular system is different to the digestive system.
Okay.
He does understand it's different, but they're connected, is what she's saying.
If I'm an idiot, let's take a panel to the chat and ask, does it make sense that the body is one whole entity versus you saying that the body plays Mr. Potato Head when it goes to space?
The cardiovascular system is separate to your digestive system. One is under pressure, the other is not.
Is it in the same body?
Are they connected?
They're coming out of my mouth.
Are they connected? Craig.
Are they
connected?
not
Are
connected
they
to the
connected?
digestive system. No, they
What?
do not have a connection. No.
Wow.
How do you
once the
think?
part
How
of
do
the
you
body
think
can
your
stop
nutrients
working-
are separate? How do you think your nutrients go out to your body?
Yeah,
It
one body can act.
that are separate.
One
What?
part of your system can stop working,
I
and the
thought-
body can continue.
I don't
working.
even know much about medical stuff, but I'm pretty sure your cardiovascular
You
system
don't have
moves
to.
things from
You
your
don't
stomach
have
to
to
the
have
body.
any. You don't have to have any
Because they're
medical
connected.
profession to know this. That you don't turn to Mr. Potato Head.
Actual doctors in my chat that are telling you are wrong.
We don't see it.
Listen,
They're
Just
I
saying
don't
because
know
they
what
say you're wrong.
I don't see any. I don't see
Just
any.
because you say they doctors and they say
Oh,
you're wrong.
and well, ask them to get on the panel. It would be perfect if they would get on the panel.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Ain't every part of a car connected?
There you go, bro.
You're talking about one
Ain't every
down,
look, every
and it's
part,
running up
every part of my computer is connected. And if I take away some right now, I won't be able to type if I unplug my
Exactly.
keyboard.
There you
If
go.
I unplug my mic, I can't talk.
Exactly.
Everything connected.
Exactly. Exactly. One system can completely break,
In
and
a
your
car
body
is
continue to
I
act the same.
told you that. For instance, the hydraulics that control suspensions are not connected to the engine.
It's all part of the frame, so it's connected. It's one big frame, but that connects all of that, and it makes it one car. Listen, if some becomes detached from the car will drive away, and they'll have to park and go pick up that piece. Oh, my muffler got detached from the car. They go pick it up. See how this works? It's one car, and every part that you name is moving down the highway with that one car. You know why? Because it's connected to the frame. It's connected to the whole thing.
And the digestive system is not a small system. It is a very complicated, important system that nourishes the entire body. So you want us to believe that this shutting down, not acting proper, is going to let the rest of the body act proper and receive its nutrients, where it gets its nutrients from. Where does your cardiovascular system get its nutrients from if it's not connected to the digestive system, my friend?
Do you not? Like it's actually absorbed through and then transferred to the other cells. Blood doesn't run.
What other cells? What other cells, Craig?
The cells are part of your body, but there's not.
But the part is connected. The part is connected or not connected.
It's done via osmosis. That's how the nutrients are absorbed into your body and then put into your blood.
So you're saying that your body getting nutrients that it cannot get because your digestive system that's not working because you cannot. You're saying somehow that it's going to let the brain, the heart, and the liver, everything else is going to operate properly without your digestive system. So you don't even need it then. You don't even need a digestive system.
And the filter, your liver, the filter that filters everything out of your body, you don't need that either.
Stop. You are strawmanning me here. I never said your digestive system doesn't work.
But you're saying it doesn't work properly. And you're saying because it's a closed system. Your digestive system, if you're not able to digest, you're not able to fart, because I don't know one person who can't shit without farting. I guess there's super fart man. A person who can't shit without farting.
Right. That right.
Can you tell me, if you could teach me how to shit without farting, that must be NASA training.
Damn, they really, damn.
All right, let's.
Do they gotta fast before they take a mission?
Yeah, and for the people up there for more than a year, for the people up there for more than a year, and their digestive system isn't working properly,
they gonna be
nothing to do. Nothing to do with anything else.
They full of shit, literally, man. Like for real, bro.
Listen, bro, I'm gonna get off right here, but I just wanted to say, if you could pull up the menu of the food that they send the astronauts off with, so you could see all the gassy ass foods that they get to eat.
On NASA's website, it's still there.
Oh man.
Okay.
Let me see what they eating up in here. Oh man, hold on. NASA.
If the digestive system is important, you need that. You eat with that. It nourishes your body.
Say it ain't so.
It's common sense. It nourishes your body. For that system not to be operating properly, and it doesn't affect anything else, is absurd. And we don't have to go to medical school for that. We can use this basic common sense.
Again, you're just making stuff up that I never said.
No, you are, man. You haven't explained anything. You just told us that you can take off your eyes, your nose, and your ears when you go to space.
Speak English.
So you insult and yell when you can't answer a question. That's very mature.
You're not listening to the answer because
It's
you want
so
to be
mature.
All right. Thanks, guys. Let me go to the next one. Let's go to Eugenie.
Yeah, go ahead, y'all. Have
That
a
was
good night.
fun. Hey, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Yo, no problem.
Can you dig it?
That was awesome, yo.
I need to regain my composure. I don't want another heart attack. Give me a second.
Eugenie, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Everybody hit that like button. Brother Sanchez, you won the debate. Jeran, thank you for doing this. Fight the flat earth. You were doing good to the last person, so behave. All right, so I got some practical reality questions. Like, I want people to get exposed to the elements. Like, all right, so batteries in space, right? Like, car batteries fail in cold weather, right? Like, electric cars are pretty much useless in cold weather. So how do they like heat the spacesuits in space, which is supposed to be negative 455 degrees? 2.7 Kelvin, and on the moon it's negative 208 degrees, and then during the day it's 250 degrees. So how do they heat their systems during the day, like without failure? Like, what kind of batteries are they using? Like, how are they charging their batteries, and how are they able to last? Like, a car battery won't start if you leave it.
Yeah, they said they was using rechargeable lithium batteries.
Yeah, I'm asking Craig, kind of. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna let him go. You right. My bad. And salutes to everybody on the
Like,
call.
how do they heat the ISS?
How do they heat the ISS?
Yeah, what kind of HVAC systems? Like, how are they converting negative 455 degrees in space so that these guys can be comfortable and float around and hold their shit?
There's heating systems on board. I'm not sure the exact ones. I'd have to look up. I'm not going to give you.
Yeah. Which ones? I mean, are they just like fake ones or like?
Listen to the words that come out my mouth. I don't know the exact ones. That's not an answer I have. I would have to look it up for you.
But that's not. It's impossible to convert 455 degrees into.
Well, do you have any evidence it's impossible? Or
Yeah,
you just saying?
Go to Canada, go to Russia, and try to survive a night in negative 150.
Okay, I live in Scotland. Trust me, it's pretty fucking cold.
Yeah, have you ever left the car out and not turned it on over winter? Do you think it's going to last?
Yeah. My electric car works fine.
And so you're telling me that in negative
You're charging your electric car.
degrees, NASA has no problem, with ice or anything in their hydraulic systems, which fail at negative 10 degrees. Like, we're talking extreme temperatures. We're not talking about like negative 10, Craig. Like, we're talking about freezing cold. Like, if you get exposed to this, you will die.
But you're just saying things. Do you have any evidence this isn't possible?
Yeah,
or
you got to go to any cold weather place, and people can't survive in negative 100.
But they can, because they have heating systems.
No, they don't. They fail.
Yeah, they have heating systems.
We're talking in space. We're not connected to the ground. We're talking like, how are they converting electrical, how are they making electrical energy in 0 degrees in negative, negative Kelvins or whatever, or negative Fahrenheit?
No such thing as negative Kelvin, and the
Excuse me, I'm just a little worked up here. I'm just asking you, how are they converting in negative 200 degrees? All right, let's just say negative 200 degrees.
Answer, but you weren't talking.
How are they converting that into electrical energy?
Oh yeah, no. Every time I try to talk, you okay? So
thank you, Eugene. We're gonna have him answer that now. Go ahead, answer that, Craig.
The photoelectric effect is the way that they generate solar energy. So they can generate energy because they have massive solar panels that are collecting energy from photons. And that does everything they need it to do. Again, I don't have the specifics of the heating system of the ISS. I would have to look that up for you. But
did the Apollo have solar panels?
I'm still talking. The photoelectric effect is how they generate energy on board the ISS.
So when they're doing spacewalk, there's some sort of umbilical connected that's doing all that, providing.
Usually they would have an umbilical or something connected, or they have batteries in their suits that last long enough for EVAs and stuff.
That's what I think he was saying, is in that negative 250. I don't know if that would. I've never seen electronics work like that. Eric. Oh wait, Eric with a little E.
But to be fair, I don't have all the answers.
Can you guys hear me?
I would have to look up the answers to give him specific, data. So I'm not going to just bullshit because I don't have the correct data with me right now.
Where can I get that? You said the live stream from the Terry Virts flight.
I've got it stored on one of my hard drives. I'll upload it to a G drive for you and send you the link.
Thanks.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so this is for Bro Sanchez. So for me, my example that I always have for flat Earth stuff is Jupiter. Actually, is a planet that we can absolutely see is a sphere because we can see its orbit, especially with the Great Red Spot. And then also with the Galilean moons, we can see them orbit over the course of a night or a couple days. So that's an example of planets being spheres and examples of gravity in orbits. So then why would Earth not be a sphere? And why would the moon not orbit the Earth? And in that, why would the Earth not orbit the sun?
Okay, so just because we look up in the sky, and by the way, these objects don't appear spherical. They appear circular, just a circle. I see more like a excuse me, someone just coughed in my ear. But I see more like a two-dimensional opening, like a doorway open, than I see a spherical object when I'm looking at the sun or the moon. But now, I know what you get into. I've heard this so many times. I'm gonna answer you. You never prove what's you walking on under your feet by looking at what's above your head, because then if you go in a Georgia dome, you're gonna think you walking on a dome. That football field is flat regardless of what the ceiling shaped like. Or what's going on in the, like, I don't look at a chandelier and say, well, that's what the shape of the floor is. I think that's flawed logic, because even in flat earth cosmology, the flat earthers even said that the wandering stars were spheres in a lot of those cosmologies, and gateways and stargates and different interpretation of that, but they still said the earth was flat. So I don't really think that that's really a good, because then you can look at the clouds and say, well, we live on a cotton ball.
Well, also just, the example though, you can see rotation with the Great Red Spot. So if it's rotating and you see
that, what does that have to do with the Earth being flat or a globe?
Well, I'm just saying, because a lot of times it's people say that, well, the planets aren't spherical or anything, but the planets orbit the sun, and then also just where we can see the Galilean
don't orbit the sun.
Well, okay, but then how about the Galilean moons orbiting Jupiter? Those we know are spherical, and we know that they orbit around, which is an example of gravity. So why would that not be the case for Earth?
Okay, let me explain something to you. Let me just go to a full conception. I want to do you right and answer your questions in totality. I ain't gonna cheat you. I'm kind of being lazy. Let me screen share. All right, so here's the flat earth conception. You see, we still have a flat earth. This theory of life is no different than when you talk about the Big Bang theory, this is basically what the Big Bang theory is, flat earth. Check it out. If you look at the way nature dissipates all energy, nothing is random. This your Thor hammer. You know what you looking at, brother? The Holy Grail. You see the Grail cup? All of this ancient symbolism is dealing with flat earth. When you see this Nordic tree of life, they were saying that our universe is a big bang. A life is an explosion of energy from a point of singularity. Everything in the heavens revolve around that point of singularity. Ain't nothing going around no sun, but it's all going around the sun or the central point. They turned that point into the sun, but even the sun itself is going around Polaris. Also, we can see the sun and moon in the sky at the same time, both on a circuit around Polaris. So that proves the sun ain't in the center of this solar system. The North Pole is, and your compass points you there. Your compass don't point you to the sun. So why would you say that? Your compass is pointing you to the center of the earth. Like this is ridiculous, bro. Let's move on, man. Like this.
Well, okay, but then this thing is with the moons. It's an example of gravity, of something orbiting around them. So that's a perfect example of gravity.
Listen. That's not a perfect example of gravity, because something in orbit proves centripetal or centrifugal force, but gravity is a theory of why things, what goes up must come down. It was created by a dude who sat under a tree and an apple fell on his shoulder. You can't now say that he was thinking about the all of this other stuff that you're saying. It was simply why things drop back to the earth. It doesn't explain the circuit of the heavens. What I'm doing, it does though, because everything in the heaven is revolving around a central point. That's what we can prove. That's what this picture show. This is, so my thing is, we know that central point is the North Pole and not the sun. Even the sun is going around that central point, and we can prove this. So you asked the question. I tried my best to answer you in totality. If you want me to clarify more, sure, and we can move on. Let's move on.
All right, we can move on.
All right, thanks, Eric. Let's go with Daryl time. Daryl, is that like Daryl Strawberry? Good.
It's funny, Daryl Strawberry.
Blast from the past.
I had to do a panel.
Hopefully you do less coke than he does, but.
Right. Yeah, my question is to Craig. All right, so I'm gonna just make it real basic. Have you ever traveled the whole globe before? The whole wide world?
Yeah, I was in the Royal Navy for many years.
No, well, but you haven't traveled the whole thing, right?
Not in one sitting, no.
Right. Or even in your lifetime.
I mean, I've been to every ocean. I've hit every continent.
So you went over Antarctica too, like around there?
McMurdo base in Antarctica for a while, yeah.
I'm sorry?
I was at McMurdo Station in Antarctica for a while.
So you went all the way across through Antarctica, the whole thing, and then you came back around.
Antarctica, it's a big continent of ice, but we surfaced at McMurdo Station and stayed there for a while.
Okay, but my point is you didn't go around the whole thing.
I'm not entirely sure where we went. You don't actually, when you're on board submarines, you don't where you're going.
I'm just asking a simple question. Did you go around in your lifetime? The whole thing, the whole circumnavigate. No, but circumnavigate the Earth. No, have you circumnavigate the Earth?
Again, I've been most places, around the world. I've seen every continent.
Just a yes or no. It's just a yes or no.
I haven't personally circumnavigated the whole planet. No.
Okay, that's all. That's all I want to know. I'm gonna leave right there. All right, thank you. Thank you for answering my question.
Thanks, Daryl. All right, let's go with 1/8. Is that like a quarter, 1/8 ounce? Go ahead. You are.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, what's up, y'all? I want to shout out to everybody, Bro Sanchez. It's a question for FT. Fight the Fed. All right, so I'm about to post in the chat. It's a timestamp to YouTube, to NASA. It's the Crew 2 mission approach and docking. The part I timestamp is 4 hours, 47 minutes, and like 20 seconds. Can you explain to me like what's happening with the man that's coming through with his camera when he passes like the blue threshold? That's on the left.
You put it in the chat here?
Yeah, I put it in the chat. And you can screen share it too.
So you put it in Bro Sanchez.
Let me stop my.
Yeah, it's in Bro Sanchez.
Okay, you put it in the Zoom chat?
Yeah.
Okay, let me open it up right now.
Oh crap, there's lots in there.
Scroll all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, I'll post it again at the bottom.
I got it. Here's
Okay.
you should be able to see it now.
All right, so you see the camera lens come through. It like it's like it's being masked, like a video mask when it comes through.
Wait, rewind it again. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Yeah, that makes it easier for me.
What do you got timestamps? You want me to go?
It's time now. It's like, and you can slow it down too. Like the slowest you can make it, the playback speed.
Okay, and then let's see if you got a little static on your mic too.
Oh, my bad. I don't think I'm gonna be able to shoot.
And I'm letting it go slow speed right when they get into the ISS. Hold on, let me skip it. Here we go.
No, a little behind that.
Yeah, it's at 47 minutes, 4 hours, 47 minutes, and you can start it like at the 20-second mark, and it happens at the 24-second.
So go 4:47:20.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
So watch his camera coming through, and watch how it passes the threshold. It's like it disappears.
Want to slow it down more?
Yeah, like right there. Slow it down and like look at the camera.
The camera in the black dude hand?
Yeah.
When? Oh, it's coming up now?
Oh, it just passed. When he comes through, you see that blue
When he
line?
comes through that door. So go back to
Okay.
4:47:20.
Yeah.
Could you just favor, bud, and just say exterminate?
Well, let us see it. I know where to go. Right. Oh, hold up. There we go.
Yeah.
That's good right there.
Yeah. And as he's coming through, he's gonna like do a turn and come past that blue thing on the left. And just watch the camera lens.
Hey, y'all, let's
Right here, I guess.
get the lights up out there, man. Y'all
Coming on now. Did you see it?
I mean,
It looked like you passed it in front of it to me.
A couple of frames.
Yeah. So stop it on the 24th second in the 4 hour 47, 24, and you can stop it and see it.
See it. What do you see it go through that blue pole?
Yeah, you see it go behind it, and then it disappears and just reappears again.
Go to the next one, Bro Sanchez. What do you want to do?
Yeah, so
this we'll watch it this last time, and
Okay.
we move.
yeah, like pause it at 4:47:24.
It's taking it forever to get there. I got we on point 25.
Yeah.
Here we go. There.
Yeah. See that? No, the 23rd second, my bad. That now
We gotta we're gonna have to move on, but I know it's glitches there, but we ain't
that's what I wanted him to
spend too
answer.
much
Like, can he explain the glitches that are happening?
I ain't saying it's glitches in this particular video, but hold up, 4:47:23.
Yeah.
I think there's something else there that appears to be covering it as he goes past. I'd have to do a bigger analysis on this, but
it goes right through it. That's how I can see it.
I mean,
Anyone can click the link and like go to that time.
I am honest, and show me right now. It looks like the edge of the lens clips through that blue pole. That's what we're seeing, right?
Right. It looks like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'd have to look at the footage further. I'd have to maybe see if there's frames that are missing either side, or if there's something later on in the footage that shows that there's frames missing. There's a lot of explanations for why that could happen. I'm not going to lie. It looks in that footage like the lens goes what I think is the edge of the lens, maybe the cap on the lens. It looks like it clips through the blue pole. Right. I'm not going to deny that it does look like that, but I don't have any explanations as to why it would be. I'd have to look into it further at this point.
Okay, that was I just wanted to see what you thought about it.
mean, I'm not going to deny that it looks like that happens. Everyone can see that it looks like that happens.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, what would be an explanation like for that happening?
When you're doing things like this, it could be compression of it could be, you get PNS frames where if say it's being live streamed, or then if the camera sees that there's not a change in the motion, then it won't change the frame. But then if it catches up later and the motions move too much, it can look like it glitches through things. There's many explanations as to what it could be, but I'm not going to straight up lie and go, oh no, I can't see that. It looks like it clips through. I'm not going to deny it.
Okay. Yeah, that was it. Thank you.
It looks impossible that it would be in front of it, but that's a good one. I haven't seen that one before.
Yeah, and that's straight from their site, like SpaceX. So, yeah, you just want to know.
Good.
He swings around and it looks like he just goes right.
It looks like, because I do video editing, and it looks like a mask. It looks like they masked it. Just for me doing video editing, that's what it looks like. It looks like a mask.
Could you just play it again, or is the slowest that you can for me, bro? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Just like from
start right there. Right there is a good spot to start it from.
Yeah. Just right where it is, but make sure it's on the slowest speed.
Oh, okay.
And
then put it on 0.25.
Yeah.
And you can watch here, it just swings right through it. Like,
dang, man. And you know what? You know what else though? His knee did too.
I know, I saw that too.
Let's take it back. Damn it, yo. And you know what's crazy? I done replayed this a couple times, and I admit, man, I just saw this.
Yeah, it took me a time or two also.
I have to look further into it. I'm not going to deny it.
Nah, man.
But there's many artifacts and stuff that it could be, but I'm not going to sit here and go, no, I can't see what you're showing, because it does.
I want everybody in the crowd to peep this. Watch the black guy, y'all, so they can see what we see. Watch his body go through this pole here. Watch his body go through the pole. This is the pole that is his knee. The camera is just gonna go through it.
Which is off of there.
Just when everything that is just fucking trippy. But we know now. See, we know. Yeah,
his knee
see.
I don't think his knee went through it, but it does look like it appears as though the tip of that camera lens. It might be a trick of perspective. It might not. It might be the angle that we're seeing it from. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to do some further analysis. Okay.
I'm gonna pause it right when his knee touched that thing. But yeah, but we know the camera went through. We see these glitches all the time. We got footage of strings coming up where the strings will show.
Okay, up next we got Run Boston Bear. You're unmuted. Oops.
What's going on?
Sup, Run?
Hey, mine's pretty easy. I'm fairly new to the game, and I'm definitely leaning towards the stationary extended plane theory. But my question to both guys is this: being new at it, I just wanted to research and study and ponder, but YouTube and Google is heavily censoring my ability to search for truth. Why would they have to censor something if it's just like a fairy tale?
Man, good question.
I honestly don't feel like it's. I can find flat Earth information all the time. YouTube class flat Earth as conspiracy theory, and as part of their policy, they don't promote it within their algorithm. But it doesn't mean that they're censoring it. They're just not promoting it the same way they would stuff that advertisers would find friendly.
Isn't that like wrong? No, you agree?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
I just want to be able to search, and I actually found a little bit of a way around it. You can go to what's that other one?
DuckDuckGo.
You can go to DuckDuckGo and you can type anything you want. YouTube, in the search bar, put YouTube Jeranism or YouTube and the topic you're looking for, and you'll get a little bit clearer results if anybody's interested.
I think that the only reason that ain't wrong. It's because YouTube is a private company and they can do whatever they want with their company. But I'm saying just on a moral level, I think there, in my opinion, that's wrong. It ain't fair. You know what I'm saying?
Well, bro, I got one last question or one last comment, and this is just something I've noticed. So I'm really a neutral person. I'm not heated. I don't want to like fight with people. But if I say something like, man, it's so cool to learn about the vanishing point. It seems like the sun does come right at that same angle out of the vanishing point, like light poles do as they go off in the distance, that people will just get so mad and they just start calling you stupid, uneducated, and get angry. Well, why can't we just talk about this peacefully? Why do you got to get so mad if it's Santa Claus?
Because this implies a God. That's why, to be honest with you. That's the difference. That's why they get upset. But Craig, when you say it's not censored, you do know if you search flat Earth sunset, flat Earth horizon, flat Earth debunk, flat Earth proof, that you just get basically the same results over and over again.
You get Professor Dave.
Google, like it works in a specific way. So it's what the advertisers will pay for is what will appear at the top.
Okay, so but then you admit that they're keeping that back then.
What with Google, the way it works is how many times the site will feed back to Google is how high up it appears in the algorithm. Okay. And because the conspiracy theory stuff isn't promoted, there's less chance of it being returned back to itself, which is why it doesn't appear high in the algorithm. What I do when I'm searching for flat Earth stuff, I ignore the first 2 pages, right? Because the first 2 pages will be me, will be Professor Dave, will be Simon Dan, That's not what I want. If I'm looking for a flat Earth video to look at, or if I'm researching a flat Earth point of view, I will, if I'm using Google, I just ignore the first 2 pages because they're pointless to what you're searching for, because they do push it down in the algorithm.
That means you got something to hide or something to fear. In my opinion, I can be wrong, but my thing is that like
it's about money. That's all it is. It's what the advertisers find more friendly to put money behind, and frankly, flat Earth doesn't give the same kind of return as something else.
That's not true. Flat Earth actually has the number 1 return because it's got the highest viewer retention of any subject that there is.
Yeah. You're right.
Well, when you talk about Bigfoot, why can I search? I can search Bigfoot footprints, and I'll get a whole bunch of list of results as Bigfoot footprints. And if I search Bigfoot coat, I'll find a big bunch of returns about his coat. If I put Bigfoot claw, I'll get a bunch of stuff with claw.
Loch Ness Monster.
The same thing, no matter what I put at the end of flat Earth.
Those are conspiracies.
Right. The brilliant answer to that, Jay. It's a good question, right? But I think the honest answer is because there isn't Bigfoot debunkers, right?
Well,
but they're flat Earth debunkers, right?
What?
And
let me ask you this then: what about people? People are able to identify as cats, and nobody gets mad at them. But if I want to say, what is the shape of this Earth? I get ridiculed and yelled at, and I'm told I'm uneducated when I'm not.
I can't speak for everybody, right? What I mock is willful ignorance.
Right.
Okay. I will never mock somebody for asking a question. I might say that's a fucking stupid question and explain why. But if someone really, interested in learning about the universe, and even if they're leaning towards flat Earth, I'm not going to just mock them for that. The things that I'm known as someone that mocks flat Earth, makes fun of it. But what I've always tried to do is I mock what I consider to be willful ignorance.
Well, I appreciate that. I like how you guys. I like how y'all have interacted tonight, and I appreciate your time for this question.
Thank you.
No worries. Thanks for asking the question.
Thanks. Let's go with Mute Decibel. Come on down.
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
What's up?
I appreciate you letting me in. Craig, you get better, man. I actually have 2 questions for Bro Sanchez. Man, I gotta tell you, man, I like listening to you. Probably for reasons that you probably don't like. It's like when I watch you, I like to watch how you go through your little stances there. You kind of go from, hey, I look at that, it's pretty interesting. Then you go into, hey, I don't understand, and you start asking questions. But the last thing you won't come to that you do is the third stance that you always pull up, and it's, I don't want to hear it. And it's like you jump from those three stances all the time. And I got to tell you, honestly, it's entertaining because you can see how it comes in. It's like, as long as you got an excuse not to accept something, you bring up, I don't want to hear it. And it's honestly, it's entertaining. I just want to tell you that. But you almost gave up the game one day when last time I was listening to you talk to Craig, you did say, I'm here to learn. And you said, I'm not going to fight any info. You did say that, came out of your mouth. And I perked up. I'm like, oh my God, he's not going to do it. But like 2 minutes later, you was doing it. So
what did I do exactly again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have three modes that you go into.
It's the third one that you have a problem with, not the first two, though, right?
I don't have a problem with it. It's entertaining, but you never comp to it. I don't have a problem with it. It's entertaining because it's extremely entertaining, but you never comp to it. But you almost did because you told Fred.
So I'm trying to see what's your point. That's all. But I'll salute to the call.
Yeah, it's entertaining. So you do you. But my question is, like, I got two questions. My question is there a question, like one question, that if you had answered to you scientifically, like written out, drawn out, and everything else, that you would change your view? Or would you just pull up another question? Would you just like roll the wheel on a different question?
Let me ask you something. Do you believe when astronauts went to space and they looked back at our home, they saw a little blue marble? Yes or no?
That's two different things. No, so no. You're confusing two things that happened. So no.
Okay, cool. I'll rephrase it. My bad. You're right. Let's try it this way. Do you believe that the image we call the little blue marble was taken off of the Earth in so quote unquote space?
And you got to understand, man. I love it when you do this. You're doing the thing right now. You're doing
just asking. You know what? Let's go to somebody else, man. Let's go to some. This is weird.
I love it.
That
man.
was a weird call. Next caller, man. Next call. I'm not gonna play no games with you, man. I'm not finna. No, I ain't answering. No, you get no more questions because you didn't answer mine. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna mute Decibel. Holla at you, mute Decibel. Holla at you. Yeah, man. We gonna get you out of here. That was bro. Okay. Yeah, that was hella corny. I answered his questions, but he didn't want to answer mine. He said I'm doing something that was entertaining, but didn't tell me exactly what I was doing. Craig, could you tell me what it is I'm doing that he's pointing out? I don't. But
it's
yeah,
a Rubik's NASA shill.
I just have a couple answers to the issue with digestion in space and all of that.
Okay.
So gravity, even on Earth, doesn't determine digestion. You have muscles throughout your digestive system that pushes food down, so it will work the same on the ISS. And the bathrooms on the ISS have suction. Otherwise, it's just going to float around.
Yes.
So, what?
So you think it's a good idea to eat and then go lay down and go to bed?
I mean, it's not really going to be too much different than on Earth. You just have to be strapped down a little bit.
No, I mean on Earth. You think that's okay? It's good to lay down after you eat?
I try not to eat like 4 hours before I go to bed.
Right, because your digestion will feel it.
Yes.
It
seemed the confusion was that that you had issues with digesting in space. It's no different than on Earth. And all of the space, and with the spacewalks, it's all pressurized. The whole ISS is pressurized as well. I just clarifying. That's all.
Thank you.
Yep.
Masterpiece, you're up.
Thanks for the call.
Hi there.
MP, salute.
Great. Hey, salute. Great show. Very respectful debate. I just wanted to ask a simple question. If we all go to our backyard or wherever we live, we'll notice from the winter time to the summertime all year round, the shadow is always in the same place. Like in my backyard, it's always shadow. And in my front yard, it's always sunny, no matter what time of year it is. Now, the earth spins once, it rotates on itself once every 24 hours. So I'm just gonna show you guys a little thing here I drew up quickly. If this is the sun.
Sanchez, can you stop screen sharing so we can see what he's
Oh, he's
putting
over
up?
here. I got him up.
Oh, okay, yeah, perfect.
Spotlight this guy.
Just let me know when you can see.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so this is the sun and this is the earth in the summertime, which is further away from the sun. And this is the earth on the other side of the sun in the wintertime, which is slightly closer to the sun. Now, the earth rotates on itself once every 24 hours. So when it's noon, the shadows, let's just say for this example, are all on the earth are pointing this way. See how the shadow is pointing this way?
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll spin 24 hours on itself, 24 hours.
So I can stop you if you want. I can actually answer that. They say it's 2356. So if you take that 4 minutes and multiply that by the 180 days or whatever, then you're going to get your answer. It'll be 12 hours.
Yeah, to expand on what Jeran is saying there, because he's absolutely correct. That there's 2 days. Okay, you've got the sidereal day, and then you've got your rotational day.
Yes, that's correct. I haven't even finished my question though. But yeah, so we do know that there's that imperfect math. There's this sidereal calendar as well, but that doesn't change the fact that once every 24 hours it comes back on itself. So is what you're saying that because of that slight difference, all the way, by the time it gets all the way to the other side of the sun, then shouldn't they all be flipped? Shouldn't all the shadows be going the other way?
They are.
No, but they're not though, because every time I go out into my backyard or whatever, it's always shadow, whether it's summertime or wintertime.
I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean the shadow's in the same spot? What do you mean by that?
Okay, so say you live on a street and in the summer, you know that your front yard gets a lot of sun in the morning time.
Okay.
And through the winter, through the summer, you know that when you open your front door at 9 a.m., there's the sun shining on your house. And in the backyard, for example, it's shadow. But if it's dependable. Like that's just how it is. So I was just wondering how that would make sense if it does what I said it does. Like I don't know how to break it down any.
So I'll just explain what I know to be. This is what they say, and I don't even believe this, but this is what they say. That the turn is a little bit short of 24 hours. So it's 23 hours, 56 minutes to get back to where it was because it's advanced 1 degree, right? So every day it's basically going 1 degree, and a complete turn of 360 degrees at 24 hours would put it offset a little bit. It would always be behind. So it's 20. They say it's 23 hours, 56 minutes, and then you take 4 minutes times 180. Let me see, what is this? So you go be 182. So you take 4 minutes times 182 is 728. Divide that by 60, and you get 12.1. So it's 12 hours, right? So so by 12 hours now, north is faced the other way, or not north. The opposite side of the sun is faced the other way.
Right, but that would be totally understandable, except we're on an ellipse. We're on an elliptical path. It's not like we are
it's all such nonsense
stable.
Because then what they have to say from there, then it becomes that it sweeps equal distance and equal time.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I was answering for you guys. LB,
you did my job for me there, Jeranism. Thanks.
I know your guys' model as well as you do, believe me. Lyndon B. Johnson, maybe.
No, it's not Lyndon B. Johnson. It's my initials. But hey, how y'all doing?
Hello.
Yeah, so just real quick, Brother Sanchez, your mods in the chat are mutant globers, and it's not cool. We're not saying anything inappropriate, at least I'm not. And I just have muted because they don't, they just disagree with what I have to say. So I don't know how you feel about that, but maybe you could put in a little good word. It's not cool. So, anyway, so there's lots of misconceptions here on the flat Earth side. I will say that all of these, a lot of these are really simple answers. I don't know about the whole space and pooping and all that. Who gives a shit? But as far as things that you can do on the Earth, you can simply go outside and take a constellation. And this is for Brother Sanchez. So, you know, why do you think that we can't see the same stars in the southern hemisphere? Number one, and how do you think
You
that
said,
we
why do
can
I think?
calculate?
Hold up, go back with number one again. Let's do them one at a time. Go with number one again.
I said, why do you think we can't see the same stars all over the world? For instance, in the southern hemisphere, like the Southern Cross, which is
let me
like our
see.
North Star.
Well, I think we can, but what I think is that we shouldn't be able to do that if we live on a globe.
But you can easily go outside every night, and we do see stars, but we don't see that particular star. Why is that?
Because it's below the horizon line, vanishing
Now,
point.
how is that possible if the Earth's flat?
Just whether the Earth is flat or a globe, it still with your eyes 2020. You're not a pair of binoculars. If you want to pick up something that you lost on that horizon line, simple. Get you some binoculars, get a telescope, zoom in. But if the Earth, hold on, I'm not done. But if the Earth was a globe, though, you wouldn't be able to zoom in on it. You would zoom in on a curvature that's blocking it.
Okay, fair. So just forget zoom in or something like that. What about like on a basketball, right? You know, it's got the little Spalding sign. Let's say that Spalding sign is the setting sun. So as the Earth is rotating, and I'm rotating the Spalding away from me, right? Eventually, I'm not going to be able to see that Spalding sign on the ball. Do we agree on that?
Yes.
I agree.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So why can't I see that if that was my example for the sun? Is it because it's beyond the horizon?
I'm not saying how you making the connection between vanishing point and the Spalding example. I understand that the Spalding sign is vanishing because the Spalding ball is rotating away from me, but that's not what we saying in the case of the globe. Globalists are saying that the ship is vanishing because it went over a curve. You know what I'm saying?
No, they're saying that the Earth is rotating away from the sunlight. So eventually we're going to be to a point like the Spalding sign where we rotate it so far into the shadow it becomes night for us. And on top of that, how is it that we have time zones, you know, or day and night at the same time on the planet? At all times, the sun is somewhere on the Earth. How can you explain that if the Earth is flat?
Because you're taking as an assumption that the sun is 867,000 miles wide, right?
I am just taking an observation of what I know to be between.
Okay, well, imagine the sun is tiny.
Imagine
the sun is the size of a Spalding basketball, and it's only 10 feet above our head. Does it make sense then that this ball could be anywhere in the world and it wouldn't light up the whole thing?
How close are we? It would have to be so close to where we wouldn't be able to stomach the sun.
We wouldn't what?
You know, the intensity of the sunlight would be too much the closer you get. So that's not a fair assessment. You still have to consider the heat transfer, the intensity of the sunlight, the closer you bring it to Earth. But that's not the case. We don't have a small little spotlight. We have a gradual darkening, where in other parts of the world, the sun is actually coming up for them. How is that possible if it's on a flat surface?
So picture, are you in a room right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so picture that room is 5 miles wide, and every direction is 5 miles from you, right? But the roof is still where it is. The ceiling's still 8 feet high or whatever. Could a light that's on top of you start taking off and go away from you? In a mile, it would go under the horizon.
But I wouldn't technically have a horizon if the Earth was flat.
You absolutely would have a horizon. The horizon is optical.
Where would the bend be coming from the curve of the Earth? Line of sight.
Okay,
that's why.
Let's pretend that there's no such thing as a sphere Earth. Just erase that for a second. Think of a 5 mile room. It's flat all the way down. You realize that the ceiling would hit the floor.
I get what you're saying, Derek, but my point is that we don't live on a 5 mile anything. I can't see the bottom of the mountain in my local town that's 50 miles away. I should be able to see the bottom of any city from my driveway. I should be able to see.
Do things get smaller in the distance or not?
Do I what?
If a car is driving away from you, does it get smaller?
Yes, that's perspective though.
Okay, so why would you think
And
you'd
it
be able to
also
see the
goes
bottom?
down a hill or up a hill or around the corner.
You just said you'd be able to see.
That.
You'd be able to see any city from your front porch. That's what you just said.
And it would depend on my elevation as well. I might still be able to see that car if I was up higher. Is that not a fair statement?
How far are you talking?
This is your scenario. You said the car was driving away.
Okay, so the car's driving away, it's getting smaller. At a certain point, would you not be able to see the car anymore?
Yes, but that would be due to my line of sight, right?
No,
not
it
just
could get
because
too small.
It's small and far away.
Why do you lose planes? Planes fly off in the distance. We watch them. They start heading down, and all of a sudden the plane just disappears. Why do you think that plane disappears? It gets too small to see.
And it's going over the curve of the earth.
Nobody's ever seen that. Nobody's ever seen that before. You just made something up that nobody's ever seen.
I'm not making anything.
There's never been a plane. I've never seen a plane go behind the curvature of the earth.
Well, my second question, and I'll let the other folks speak. I have a question about calculating fuel for tanker trucks, airplanes, your car, anything like that. For a long trip, let's say over the ocean, there's nobody out there to rescue you. How do I know if I have to be on a boat for a month, how much fuel it's going to take me to get to A to B?
I don't have that answer.
Brother Sanchez, do you have an answer?
Repeat the question, my sister. Sorry.
Yes,
I'm
no
looking
problem.
at something.
So I'm saying that how am I able to calculate the amount of fuel and provisions I might need for, let's say, a month-long ocean voyage? We agree that tanker ships are a thing. People have circumnavigated around the world. Colonies are all over the world from far-off countries. So people have used the stars to navigate. I think we're all in agreement with that. So how is it that I know how far away something is, that I can prepare my trip so I'm not left out in the ocean with no gas or starving to death?
Okay, so the first boat makers on this earth were flat earthers, and they set out with compasses, and they all used the one North Star to find their way home. There's never been a time in history where we can say that, hey, someone found their way back home by navigating using of the southern star, South Pole.
Is a prime example of someone.
Hold on, let me. You cut me off, sister. Captain Cook was a flat earther whose voyage was to prove flat Earth, and that's exactly what he said he did. That's the captain that mapped the ice wall. So salutes to Captain Cook. Also, by the way, you asked me a couple of different questions. I was answering the first one. You threw me off with the interruption.
Tanker trucks, or how do we know the speed or how much gas we need or something?
For the distance. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeran, you didn't have an answer.
Oh yeah, because ancient people had their own maps, and as far as I know, all of them were based upon flat Earth maps. To this day, we still use flat maps. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand what you asking me other than
I think you do understand what I'm saying. I'm asking you a straight up easy question, man.
Go ahead.
I just asked you if I know I'm going to take a boat from, let's say, LA to China. I might be on the boat for a month. I need to know how far away that is so I can put as much food and water that I need on the boat for however many days is that going to take me. How fast am I going? I'll know
car,
how long that's going to take.
Plane, car. What we talking?
I'm sorry?
Boat. Okay, a boat.
Very unrealistic.
Yeah, boat, ship, even a plane. Airplane is fine too.
Okay. I mean, my thing is, I won't know how much. I'm not sure how much gas you need to pack and all of that, though, my sister. I'm not.
No, but
the
people who run the boat do, right? We agree with that.
Of course, yeah, no doubt.
So how did they figure that out?
They probably taken a trip a couple of times.
You think they just got in a boat into the ocean and crossed their fingers? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I know how much gas I need to get from point A to point B based upon I'm just gauging it per mileage, what my car's saying, all of this stuff. But nobody really does that. I'm just still trying to see why we having a gas conversation. I can't wait to see the
are you
point.
saying are you saying it because it's a further distance than the globe? Is that what you're using this as?
Talking about
I'm sorry?
gas.
Yeah,
Are you saying that it's a further distance on a flat Earth than it is a globe, and that's why you're asking this question?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, how did they figure out the distance in the first place? And a lot of that is used by celestial navigation.
Yeah. So
I just don't know about. I don't understand why we talking about how much gas. I'm confused.
I'll just let you
Well,
stew on that.
I wanna get on flat Earth and globe
I'll
Earth. That's all.
let you stew on that, Brother Sanchez and Jeran. And when you
Wait,
guys
can I give you one
come
thing to
back
look
with
up?
an answer, we
Let
can
me have
have
you look
this
up one
discussion.
thing.
That gas one threw me off. I was with you at first
I
with the
think
flat Earth
it's a
stuff.
fair question.
Okay, so give me this.
Yeah, you give me the answer then.
Find a cruise from New Zealand or Australia straight to the South America. Okay.
What about it? They
Find
know how
me-
much gas is going to take to get there.
There's
They know
no
how much
such.
food
There's no
the
such cruise.
passengers are gonna
There's
need.
no such cruise. You won't find one. Go ahead and go
It
look.
doesn't matter. The point
does
is
matter.
that there are cruises. There are ships coming from China to LA to
China
New
and
York.
LA. There's no difference in that than the flat Earth map and the globe map. Same thing.
But you still didn't answer my question of how did they calculate that. So that's it for now, fellas. Thank you for your time. I'll pass it on to someone else.
Confused. All right.
I'm just fucking dumbfounded. Like I'm serious. One thing I gotta say before we go to the next caller. People,
I'm gonna get off at 10, by the way.
Cool. I want to say this. People, don't come up here blowing my high talking about anything other than flat Earth, globe Earth, man. That's what we on tonight. Sister threw me for a loop when she went to the gas conversation. Like, I don't know how much gas he need. God damn it, I don't know the point.
So I think the point is that when you're calculating like how much fuel and stuff you need for journeys, what do you base that on? And as someone that was in the Royal Navy and I was a submariner, and they're nuclear powered, right? But you also have diesel engines for emergencies, and you can't take too much. You need to take the right amount, otherwise it starts affecting buoyancy of the sub and stuff. So you need to calculate it. If you know what your journey is going to be, you also need to calculate exactly the amount of diesel you would need.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
What would you base that on? Would you base those measurements on something you got from a flat Earth or something you got from a globe? Me personally, when I did those calculations, I would base it on known distances on a globe.
Did you ever travel in the South exclusively, like way down south?
Yeah. Well, we dived off the coast of Africa, and then I surfaced in McMurdo. I don't know where it went in between, because generally when you're on a submarine, you don't know where you're going. It's the captain that kind of knows where you're going. Right. Everyone else is just doing the work. You've not got a clue. So we dived off the coast of Africa, near the equator, and then next thing I know, we're in Antarctica. I have no idea where we went apart from that.
How long did that take?
God, that was probably the longest time I was under for one go, and it was at least 3 months that we were under.
Wow. My brother was in the Navy too. Yeah. Career Navy guy. He was actually on the USS Carl Vinson when they supposedly dumped Osama bin Laden off. But then I said, "Oh, you got to see it?" He's like, "No, they locked down the whole ship." I'm like,
yeah, I imagine they would.
Nobody got to see it happen.
I'll tell you what, American ships were insane. When I was in Portsmouth, we had one of your aircraft carriers come in, and they couldn't even come in to our ports because your ships were too big. There's just no fucking need for it.
Gigantic. I've seen photographs. All right, I'm going to leave it 10, just 13 minutes, Bro Sanchez. So I'm going to hand this off to you if there's more people.
It's nearly morning
Matt
for me.
Klein, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing, Craig? I'm all of yours. It's pretty good to get to talk to you finally.
Nice to meet you, man.
Oh, Jeranism, the key, the moderator key. You could before you forget.
Yep, I'll give it to you right now.
Okay. Anyway,
you want to take back over?
Well, no, I'm just going to get the key, but you still can lead us out of here, because I'm gonna close out at the end so it don't be long out and drawn out and stuff. So, but we'll be back though tomorrow, I think, for the people on my side.
So I was a coal miner for almost 15 years, and I saw a lot of stuff that I never knew existed. I was a hard rock miner. I saw a lot of things that if you guys have never seen them, you would have no idea, and you would think there's no way that that can possibly exist. There's no way that they can do that 5 miles underground in 4-foot high seams. I ran heavy presses, huge presses. You would think there's no way that they can build what they build. What I'm getting at is, Brother Sanchez, have you ever stopped to consider that a lot of these things that you think can't possibly be true is just because you've not seen the technology that they used to do it? Because I'm here to tell you, I've been around and I've done a lot of things. There is a lot of a very amazing technology.
Let me answer you real. Let me answer you real quick. It's not based on my belief. I make my arguments based on me going to nasa.gov and reading the specifications of the equipment. And I don't guess about this. You see what I'm saying? And when they go to telling me, when I go to researching how the equipment work in and out, I say to myself, is it possible that this equipment can function this way in a vacuum? All of my questions is, can that happen in a vacuum? Can this happen in a vacuum? Like when I asked Craig, is it possible that the human fluids in the human body could even function right in the vacuum of space based upon what we see fluids doing in the video? That led to the interesting constipation line. So, I mean, it's not really me using belief. It's me questioning my beliefs, because a lot of my belief in space and belief in the globe is just that, belief. And I questioned my beliefs, and that's when I had to go with something I couldn't question. Because let me ask you something, right? What's your most empirical evidence for globe? We get that question a lot.
Empirical evidence to me is the fact that we see suns sitting, because things cannot physically go over the horizon if the earth is flat. They would only shrink down smaller and smaller until they winked out of existence on a flat earth. But they would not be below the line of sight. That is a fact, unquestioned.
Slow down. So what you're saying is that the horizon line on a globe represents the curve, correct?
Exactly, represents the curve.
Now let me show you something. On a flat earth, the reason things go down, vanish on a horizon line is not because of a curve, but something called convergence. And what that means is that you can't see forever. You got to admit that you can't see forever. And if we were on a extended plane and our eyes can't see forever, there will be a point where things vanish at. And guess what? That's called vanishing point. That's the point. Wait a minute. That's the point that we see right here. That has nothing to do with the earth being a globe. That has nothing to do with the ship fell over a curve. But hold on. Okay. This is what you want? Go ahead. There you go.
Okay. Now you see how everything goes to a point? None of them is going behind the curve. They're going to a point right at the curve. Nothing on top will ever go below that horizon. It'll only shrink until it disappears right at the horizon.
Exactly. Just like it would on a flat earth.
No, if it was flat, it would do that. On a curve, it will go around behind the horizon. On a flat earth, it don't. But what do we see? We see things go behind the horizon.
Okay, so let me explain something, right?
Man,
all right, let me explain something, man. You don't gotta hate to tell me nothing. You're gonna have to prove everything around here. I know where you at in your paradigm, but look at where my mouse pointer is. I want you to think about this. If you was standing right here on the ground and we was looking out at a ship vanish on a horizon line out here, you would probably say, see, it just finished. It just went over that curve. Then when we zoom out, we'll see that the plane keeps extending. See, we got to get off of the ground. And if we sent, y'all say that we can't see, that the earth is too small to see the curve. So we wouldn't dare say that the ship is vanishing because of a curve on a globe. Let me explain something to you. Even if I was a globalist, I would say, hey man, the ship disappeared because of vanishing point. I would tell them, look, the globe is so big that the ship ain't even went far enough yet to begin to go over a curve. The ship only left about 30 minutes ago. You know how small of an earth that'll be? Come on now, we're told that in order to notice the curve, you got to get all off the earth and go so far, but yet we can see the curve right here with the ship that just took off. Zoom out and you'll see that the plane keeps going on. Let me show you some images, what I mean. If we were if we were standing on the ground on this road, see how these cars are getting smaller and smaller, and the road is getting smaller and smaller. You see that?
But the road don't.
But hold on. You cut me off. I don't want to boot you. I don't want to boot you. Let me finish. Just let me finish. We know the road don't get smaller. We know that it's called convergence. That's what I keep showing you. You're trying to make convergence and vanishing point curvature. Nothing vanishes at that point because of curvature. It vanishes because your eyes can't see forever. Even on a globe, the ship will have to go further for you to say that's curvature to account for why it's vanishing. So even on a globe, I would still recommend you say vanishing point, because the ship ain't went enough distance yet, unless your globe is hella small.
All right, brother. You just think what you want. I appreciate you letting me come on. Listen to me. I like you guys' show. Really appreciate you guys letting me come on. Brother Sanchez, Craig, both you guys have a good day. I'll let somebody else talk.
Peace and love. Thank you.
I think that should maybe be the last one. It's getting very late for me over here.
Okay, that's fair enough. We have 4 hours on the dot. Hey, let me thank everybody for coming out, Craig. I hope you get well, man. I look forward to the next one. I want to thank Jeranism once again for hosting this and making it way of an awesome show. And thank everybody for viewing, for tuning in.
Yeah, I just want to, Jeran, you've actually been an extremely fair mod, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I just want to say again, as you know, there's a bunch of flat earthers listening on your side. I had my recent heart scare, and the majority of people, flat earthers and globe earthers, were wishing me well, and I appreciate that from either side. So thank you very much for not hoping that I died. And bro, thank you for having me on. I'll drop out now, and I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
I'm dropping out too, bro. Thank you.
Hey, Jeran, yeah, I'm gonna get with you on a book too. Yeah. Salutes to everybody. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace, guys.
Hey, thank you everybody for donating to the show as well as always. And